Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. There's no troubles here. Like a light on a train, southwest bound. Time stop running, let the rain wash it away. Gotta walk the line, no more fines. Gonna walk the line, sing a song of long ago. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Where we're gonna start on Ghost Bear time. No, I'm not man in the moon. That has the sound so profound. Man with the sound so profound to be found. A little bit never hurt no one. A little bit never hurt no one. Go for the show. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Just need a scarecrow to scare the children. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. There's no troubles here. Like a light on a train, south windbound. Time to stop running, let the rain wash it away. Gotta walk the line, no more fines. Gonna walk the line, sing a song long ago. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Well, where we start our Ghost Bear time. No, I'm not the man in the moon that has the sound. Sound so profound, man with a sound. So profound to be found. A little bit never hurt no one. Go for the show. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Just need a scarecrow to scare the children. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. There's no troubles here. Like a light on a train, southwest bound. Time to stop running, let the rain wash it away. Gotta walk the line, no more fines. Gotta walk the line, sing a song long ago. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Hey.
Hail.
Hail. Let's see
Nice.
here. One more coming up here in a minute. A little bit of thumbnail there for FinalDeathStar. He won't be with us tonight. He's got babysitting duty. How's everyone doing out there? You gotta write the script. You need a script doctor. Welcome to the after show. Waiting for the gig. We're waiting on the rig. Speaking of script doctor, we all had things to say. We all know it's true. We raised our glass, we raised them high, till we seen dawn's light. You gotta write the script, you need a script doctor. Welcome to the after show, waiting for the gig. We're waiting for the rig. We all had things to say, we all know it's true. We raised our glass, we raised them high, till dawn's light. You gotta write the script, you need a script doctor. Welcome to the after show, waiting for the gig, waiting on the rig. We all had things to say, we all know it's true. We raised our glass high till we seen dawn's light. You gotta write the script, you need a script doctor. Welcome to the after show, waiting for the gig, waiting on the rig. We all had things to say, we all know it's true. We raised our glass high till dawn's light. We raised our glasses. You gotta write the script, you need a script doctor. Welcome to the after show. Waiting for the gig, waiting on the rig. We had some things to say, we know it's true. We raised our glass, we raised them high, till we seen dawn's light. You gotta write the script, you need a script doctor. Welcome to the after show. Well, how's everyone doing? We got a little bit later start than normal, but hey, the way I like to do things is I do things when things feel right. I never like to rush nothing. Sometimes things start a little late that way, but the way I like to do things is I like to do it when things just feel right. You know?
Fair time.
So, we have the rabbi from another planet as a guest. Everybody, welcome.
Hello.
So, yeah.
Hello.
Hello. So, tell us.
Does RR in the trap always speak in only emojis?
During the songs, he does. Yeah.
During the song,
Okay,
yes.
fine. I was like, that's quite a lot. It's quite lyrical for emoji language.
Yeah, it's rocking
Okay,
out, man.
Tom, we'll see you here in a minute. Hey, Tina, how you doing?
Hey, Tina.
Yeah, normally when, because you know, now I songs that I write that I sing actually are part of the show. You know, it adds
a bit of unique pizzazz.
Yeah. I'm getting the echo. Who doesn't have a headset on?
Me, but I can put one on if you want.
Yeah, I'm hearing myself twice or three times.
Give me a second. I just.
And I haven't had no scotch or I haven't had no beer.
Had some whiskey. Well.
And I've been kind of craving cognac past few days. Kind of weird.
Getting to be autumn.
Yeah, I guess so. Because you know those double shot little tiny bottles of cognac. Well, it'll take me a week to sip on something like that because it really is something just you sip. And I don't know if any of you have had any top shelf cognac. I had a friend that used to Rodrigo. He used to tend bar at the Tequila Bar on the west side of Olympia. And you know, I was brand new in town. I just moved to Olympia, and Tequila Bar. Yeah, okay. I stopped in there one day after working fast food restaurant and had a beer, and so the bartender starts talking me up and all that. I start talking to him, and next thing you know, I'm helping him close the bar at the end of the night, and he gave me one of those sherry glasses, half full, of top shelf cognac. I don't remember the name, but I know it was top shelf because it was a $10 drink, standard, maybe more. Maybe then it was $10, probably $20 now. And it was really, really good, and very, very, very tasty. It's like unsweetened caramel, kind of melting in your mouth with no sweet to it. It's got the caramel flavor without the sweet. It's interesting.
Well, a great drink. It's called a Rusty Nail, which is cognac, Drambuie. Yeah, that with a good scotch. Oh my god, and Rock's really, really good drink.
Yeah, I like Rusty Nails. They're pretty good.
Yeah, as long as you're not a good Scotch. Ooh, Glenlivet.
It was a good
Then
Scotch.
Glenlivet,
That's a good
and you
one.
got Glenfiddich.
Yeah.
I like a lot of stuff out of Speyside. I believe it's the county Speyside. It's very very peaty in the flavor of Scotch.
Oh, if you
From
like
malt.
peaty
Love it.
Scotch, Lefroy's very good.
Yeah, those single malts usually have a little bit of peatiness to them.
Yeah, I love it. Um, my great grandfather came from the county of Ayr in Scotland, and do believe he was also the Gordon Highland Brigade was stationed not too far from there, somewhere near there. A little foggy on some of the information from there, but I do know it was the county of Ayr. Interesting history. Yeah, so this movie, I hadn't noticed that Saturn seems to be in the billing for the movie, for the first movie, the second movie, and the third movie. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bogus Journey, and Face the Music. And you know, sometimes in this day and age, with all the stuff that goes on, and everything that everything here and there, at one point or another, it gets labeled as a conspiracy, or don't believe that. And you got a whole bunch of other stuff. You got urban legends that speak to things, and that you know and there's a lot of things about the planet Saturn that is you know one of the oldest religions around the world, and not necessarily, from what I understand, a good one. We won't go too deep on that, but symbology, man. A lot of different symbology. And when you're a teenager growing up watching movies and seeing stuff, you don't really notice stuff like that. But when you become older and start learning a thing or two about history and all the things that have happened since the Dark Ages and beyond that, if we've got a memory of it, or if we've got a record, or a legend, and you don't really think of those things. And when you get older, you get to a certain degree, it's like you start noticing stuff. You start noticing repetition and stuff, and repetition in movies. And it's just fascinating sometimes that all this stuff that they put in movies, it's like, did they have a guy that actually traveled from the future, and just saying, hey, this, that, and the other one, write this and put that there? Is there this master planner that does all this stuff, that traveled to the future, that traveled back? And, food for thought. Interesting things. Makes me think. And
I don't really know anything about it. The Saturn part of it.
It was brought to my attention, and I don't really either. I just know that there's a lot of mythology surrounding the planet Saturn in the Dark Ages and stuff from that and beyond. And it's not something that I'm not gonna go too deep into, but throughout history, it's had an influence.
I'll have to check into that.
And of course, sometimes some of
I
those
I know it's
influences. Go ahead.
yeah. I know its orbit is 29 years, but and it's been referenced in songs as a marker of time. But I'll have to check into that, Bear. That's very interesting.
Well,
Yeah, and Scotty brought it to my attention, actually, in one of his live streams.
I did a quick Google Saturn's influence. According to wellbeing.com.au, Saturn is the ancient god of time. Saturn represents that which flourishes with patience, steady effort. Saturn is also realistic in that you focus on what's practical, what's possible, and what's likely. Does that sink into anything you're saying?
That would probably be the positive and light side of that aspect. The stuff that I know about Saturn is kind of dark.
Okay.
Yeah, And RR, I was always told at my youngest that I was always wise beyond my years because I was always aware of stuff. I noticed things. I paid attention to stuff. Because let's face it, most people that are ADHD, I can focus probably on 3 different conversations and hear it. And I can probably follow 2 of them really good and tell you part of the third. And that's how ADHD has been for me. It's just basically information receptors are wide open. And that's why people that have ADHD appear distracted. But it's the fact that they're hearing everything going around surrounding them at once. And I've had years to focus it. It's almost like a superpower. It's kind of how I notice stuff. But yeah, as you do become older, you become more aware. That's for sure. But there was a lot of things going on in both these movies. Bogus Journey. It was like, didn't you say like it was like almost like a movie unto itself?
Yeah, it almost could function as a standalone movie. It's different. I remember. I'm going to be completely honest here. I didn't really enjoy Bogus Journey nearly as much as Excellent Adventure. However, having watched it today, Bogus Journey, I actually quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, but look, Bogus Journey is generally considered a far weaker movie, right? I mean, that was my impression of it. But yeah, it did far. Look, you had Excellent Adventure, which was like just so much fun, and everybody loved it. And I guess they said, look, it did well. We need to make a sequel, and it's got that feeling to it that like it was kind of forced, right? And they're trying to do something different with it. They're trying to go in different directions. They're trying to, and it comes together towards the end. But that first half, I mean, going to Vasquez Sands, that whole thing, none of that worked. None of that worked at all. I kind of like the things that worked in it are the things they carried through to Face the Music. They had more that weird Missy relationship thing going. Yeah. That was just Bizarreville. And they had Death in it. I thought Death was good. But generally speaking, like the robot Bill and Ted's, I kind of like the robots made out of like household items. Robot, they were kind of fun.
What sticks out to me, again, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, very much an '80s movie, and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey came out right when hair metal was kind of, we were transitioning to that gangsta rap, grunge era, where the culture was changing quite a bit. And Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey comes right, when that transition was happening. You can kind of see it in their attire, how they dress differently.
Yeah.
And so it almost seems a little bit. Gosh darn it! I've got this stream brain happening here.
Oh, I always do that.
Anachronism.
I forget words. I know. Yes.
Anachronism. That's what I was going for. It almost seems like if you're looking at it from that time period, almost like it was dated when it came out, but then looking back at that time, you have shows 94. Saved by the Bell, which was very much of the 80s, but in the 90s.
That's what they should have done a movie of. They're bringing that back. That's on Peacock Network. By the way, Peacock Network is my favorite non-Netflix streaming service. They've got a show on it which is freaking awesome. The Brave New World, probably the best new genre show I've seen since Battlestar Galactica. It's freaking awesome. It's absolutely fun, and it's anti-woke. I mean, I'm sorry to derail the story. It's actually anti-woke. It's completely against the agenda messaging that we get from the rest of the entertainment industry. So I really recommend, and it's got lots of very attractive people having lots and lots of sex in it. So on my review is that's awesome. More of that, please.
Return to must-see TV. Hey,
exactly. Yes.
I don't know if any of you have seen Outlander, but the first time I seen it, I couldn't believe some of the sex scenes they had in that show. I'm like, what? Whoa.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Okay, so Brave New
wow.
World is way better. Way better. Way better.
Oh, I'm honestly I'm not partial to sex scenes and love scenes in movies and shows because a lot of times I feel like sometimes they detract from the actual story, and because to me, anything that's emotional that's expressed between two characters should be obvious.
Mhm.
You should be able to see that. It should be one of those non-spoken kind of things that's just magical, and you can see it. It's obvious in the writing and the story. That's what I look for. And sometimes for me, when they have um, longer love scenes than what they really need to be, it takes me out of that moment in the movie or TV show.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
I
There's something that's very much in, I'm sorry, but there's something that's very much in the book. But that it's basically a society made by like Google, made by. If you imagine if Silicon Valley made reality, made a society,
Right.
and one of the things they do, they take all meaning, all emotion out of sex. And there's lots of orgies, which is part of that society to like make people not think, right? Which
Wow.
again, it's all these like. It's everything that goes against every message that you hear from Hollywood, which I can't believe it got made. I'm amazed about it. It's so worth whatever it is, the $5.99 for the month to stream it. It's really good.
Wow,
check
and it's
it out.
Peacock Network.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was really impressed.
NBC's.
I've heard
So,
a couple
so-
different channels talk about it.
yeah.
So how you doing,
I-
Tom, man?
I'm hanging in
Tom.
there. How you guys doing?
Oh, not too bad.
Pretty good.
We had a little bit of late start. I had to go meet my brother-in-law in traffic. I ran in the traffic, and I lightly tapped someone's rear bumper on bumper traffic, and so that ate up some of my time. And then when I got back here, it was like 8 something. I had to get thumbnail and all that stuff together. And Saturdays, I don't like going anywhere because I like to take the day to get prepared for the live stream. And I kind of had to go meet my brother-in-law. And it threw a little tiny monkey wrench in. But yeah, it was what you call not even a love tap. So pulled over, got his info, got my info. I don't even think he's going to report it. He's trying to sell his vehicle, so he's probably not going to report it.
Yeah, I think you're talking about sex scenes kind of detracting from the story. What really stands out is kind of Walking Dead, the romance with Michonne. They were both very strong characters. I don't think she needed him, and I don't think that he really needed her.
That's one of the later seasons, right?
Oh, but
Yeah,
you see, if
didn't make a lot
you've
of
actually, I've read the comic, and that's not what happened.
It's
Yeah,
not.
I get
No,
but-
there was
but-
No,
a TV
but
thing.
by the
only.
time we got there in the season,
I kind of I stayed in the show a little bit and still tuned in, but I kind of lost interest after that because Michonne, she was her own character,
right?
in the
I'm totally
comic.
with you.
and the character that he actually fell in love with was the blue-eyed blonde.
Right.
And,
But like, I like for me that I was on my way out with that series. But it was the next one where they had the war with Negan, which was supposed to be so freaking great. It was supposed to be marvelous, and it was episode upon episode of sheer boredom as people just fired guns. Oh, like it just bored. That's when I got out Walking Dead. I'm like, yeah, I'm not enjoying this thing. It got to the point where I'm like saying, this is not adding to my life. This whole thing. Does it bring you joy? No, it didn't. it was boring bollocks.
And I kind of, it's like they tried to do too much at one time in The Walking Dead. And I don't know.
I think getting rid of that first showrunner really hurt it, and I think it just sent it on a spiral ever since. What's the name? Famous director.
I can't remember.
But like it did okay in the next few seasons, but it just left that like I think it made the production a little more chaotic and start to fall apart. And
Are you
like
talking
that,
about Walking Dead?
yeah,
It started under Frank Darabont, and then
there you go.
Greg Nicotero took over.
Who was okay, but I don't know.
Well, he was a special effects guy. He wasn't really even a director.
Right.
So they put a special effects guy in directing?
Well,
Showrunner, actually, I think it was.
Like, was it Joe Johnston was the effects guy in Empire Strikes Back, and then he became a director, did Rocketeer. I can't remember what else he's done. But, you can be a solid director coming from effects. I don't have a problem with that.
Not really, but I don't know if he necessarily had the chops to run an entire show like that.
Probably not. Probably. Well, they did. Yeah, management. The problem we're seeing, I think, in entertainment in general and genre, is the management is done by morons, right? They're all freaking morons making moronic decisions with no clue about what they do. I mean, you can just see from the management hiring terrible people to work on their franchises. Normally because of some like ideological bias, right? And they just produce crap that fail. That undisputably fail. Like Star Trek. Star Trek is the best example. Or Doctor Who. They just produce crap that fails massively. They keep saying, "Oh, it's going to be great," and the ratings are like the worst ever. And they go, "Well, ratings aren't that important, So but viewing figures are down in general because everything is garbage. That's why it's." But yeah, like it's just we have a bunch of insanely untalented people put in positions where they shouldn't be, making garbage from the top down.
Yep.
Well, that seems to be the story, the thing in Hollywood with doing that kind of stuff, with writing and all that stuff.
Right.
And is it really that hard just to get a well-written story? And the way I understand it, Bill and Ted 3 was written 10 years ago.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. They've been trying to get this off the ground for about 10 years now, or a little more than 10 years. But the script, I heard, was written 10 years ago.
You would have thought Keanu Reeves could just get anything made, right? He's like that bankable. With John Wick now, it's probably that's what did get it made. Oh, I have to tell you, of the two of them, Keanu Reeves and who's the other guy? The blonde guy?
Let's see.
Alex Winter.
Yeah, Alex Winter was way better. I was really surprised. Like, he once had a real career and is a massive star, and he just seemed kind of weird to me in this movie. Like, I don't know. He kind of looked like he had Henry Cavill's artificial top lip for a lot of it.
Oh, the CGI getting rid of the mustache?
Yeah, he sort of seemed like that, didn't he?
That looked weird. Yeah, he's playing in a movie called Zappa. It's a documentary about Frank Zappa, I guess.
Right.
And he's in... wow, he's in a lot of documentary shorts and a couple documentaries.
Yeah, Alex Winter is. He did a lot of documentary stuff. But yeah, he seemed to be more reminiscent of Bill than Ted was Ted. But you could see that after the passage of time, people grow apart and they grow different.
Yeah, but they didn't grow apart, did they? The characters were still like inseparable. That I thought one of the funniest parts of the movie, how they were, I mean, can we spoil the movie? I take it everybody's seen it in the chat, right?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Go ahead.
I like the way that the what they couldn't individually tell the wives that I love you. There's all like we love you. Everything was them together. Which I thought, Alex Winter was in Lost Boys. Oh right, he was. I remember. Yeah, but his career just Keanu Reeves had a very successful career, and like I think basically everybody loves Keanu, right? He's one of the most beloved movie stars in the world, I think now. But I was just surprised that Alex Winter's performance just seemed more convincing. Okay, so let me ask you, what did you think of this movie of Face of Music?
It's a 7.5 out of 10 for me. I thought it was true enough to the characters, and it was a fun ride. And I had very low expectations going in, so
That's good news for them.
I probably wasn't going to be disappointed, unless it was super woke and super shit. But it was okay. It was fun. It was fun. It was lighthearted. It had heart. It had heart.
Yes, I agree completely.
He played Marco. Why do they always? Yeah, he played Marco in Lost Boys.
Okay, I don't remember his name. I know Keith Sutherland and everybody else.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I know it.
That's a good movie. That's probably Joel Schumacher's best movie.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't Batman and Robin.
It certainly wasn't Batman. Listen, if you like the bat nipples, it could be for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I thought Batman Forever was a good movie. I liked it.
Is that the one with Bane?
No, that was Batman and Robin.
Right. Batman Forever was the one with
could drive through. Yeah.
Right. No, was that one was
Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh right.
Yep.
Yeah, Jim Carrey, and what's her name? Was Poison Ivy that one? Uma Thurman. That's what I'm thinking. Uma Thurman.
Yeah. That was
Uma Thurman, who they cast as Poison Ivy just as she got too old to play it, right? Just as she got over the hill. Never mind.
No, she was in Kill Bill, right?
Let's see. Batman Returns.
Well, it wasn't. She was supposed to be like an older, more damaged person. I think of Poison Ivy as like being, I don't know, young hot eye candy, essentially.
My vines have a crush on you. Yeah.
Yeah, Batman and Robin. Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze. George Clooney played Batman. I thought Uma Thurman was a very good Poison Ivy in that.
Really? I don't know.
I like her portrayal. I liked how sexy her costume was.
Yeah, but she wasn't that sexy underneath the costume. That's my problem. She used it. I mean,
I liked it. I liked it. It was okay.
I thought she was all right, and it was just a shit movie.
There's things about it I like, and there's things about it that just crack me up. And, it's a popcorn movie,
It's definitely... compared to some of the woke crap we're getting today, Batman and Robin looks like Shakespeare compared to that.
I tell you, that is so true. That is the truth of the current era. All the stuff that looked like crap is suddenly so much better now. It's made everything better.
But out of the Batmans, I would probably say that the 1989 Batman with Nicholson as the Joker, that's my favorite Batman. If I were to have a favorite, that'd probably be it.
He's trying to think. Who's my favorite? I mean, look, honestly, I still think Ben Affleck's the best Batman I've seen on screen.
But Bogus Journey, it came out in '94, and during those times,
91 actually.
Was it 91?
Yeah, but it takes place in 93.
I thought it was. Oh, that's interesting.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, I remember. See, I love the Megadeth song that was in it. Although they didn't play it a whole lot in the movie. I guess they told Dave Mustaine that was supposed to be for the opening credits. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I guess originally it was supposed to be Bill and Ted Go to Hell.
That was the original title, yeah.
And which is so much better a title than...
the studio was never going to let him do that. But yeah, what was the original question?
I thought we were talking about Batman.
We jumped from Batman. Bill and Ted being... why it took place in 93 and to come out in 91? Because they made the original movie in 87. And then to the cast, it had actually been a few years. And then just going by the... there's a little bit of discrepancy there. Some people argue it, but just by going by the timeline, specifically now set in Face the Music, Bill and Ted went ahead in time, but the girls were born in 95. So that sets up that they went ahead 2 years at the night of the Battle of the Bands. and then they probably went back to that time period. See, because that's the thing is when they come back, you have to assume that there's a younger version of them still waiting back in the future. So when they come back, they got to flip-flop places again. Because they couldn't just do that because the way the time travel thing works. So like that's the thing is then they come back and then they know. So it's like, yeah, so like then when they come back, the girls aren't born until 1995.
Yeah, honestly, I think we're overthinking it. You know, I think it's a movie that
it's just a real simplified kind of like thing.
Man, that's enough to make your brain hurt.
Well, here's what sticks out watching it again is how much I forgot about this movie. I forgot about their personal hells when they were kids and all the nightmare stuff, and then I forgot that Rufus was disguised as the female reporter.
Yeah, again, that was just a bad idea. I kind of like Rufus at the beginning when he throws the guitar, you know, and like jumps into the time stream. That was kind of cool, and I like the holographic nod to him in Face of Music, which I thought was cool. But generally speaking, Face of Music just had a lot of ideas that misfired for me.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, CC.
Hey. Hey.
Very cool. A very Johnny Carson-esque curtain behind you.
Yes, it is.
How are you?
That is neat.
Yeah.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you guys are talking about like some of my favorite movies, so I thought I would pop in for a few minutes before I went back to bed, since you got me out of bed because you gentlemen were entertaining enough to get a rise out of me, which is difficult when you comes to my advanced age.
And we know the boss approved.
That's right, the boss did approve. You know that's true.
I'm a fan of the boss.
Oh yeah, the boss is like, hey, you should probably get up. I'm like, I just got in bed. So yeah.
Boss is reading my mind. I was thinking, Culture should come on the show.
Yeah.
Keep reading my mind.
Guys. Yeah, you guys are. Look, here's the thing. When you start talking about Bogus Journey, you start talking about the latest movie. I mean, that's like candy to a drug dealer.
Okay. Because we all know drug dealers love candy.
They do. Yeah, there's a song about it.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but I think there might even be a song about candy corn. Who knows?
No, only if it's about canceling candy corn.
Oh.
It's a song about that says don't cancel candy corn.
Sugary waxiness.
Cancel candy corn.
All right.
Candy corn's awesome.
Okay,
R says,
before
hail to the boss.
Oh yeah, the boss is the boss probably heard that. She's in bed watching y'all, so be good.
Awesome.
No. So here's the thing. Before you were talking about Bill and Ted, you diverted off into areas I don't really care about with the dead people and the zombiness because I don't care. But there was something else in the middle that I care about. It was a movie. You guys just left.
Give us a hint.
Well, you were talking about a movie. What movie were you guys talking about?
Batman?
There you go. The Batman. Yeah. Okay. So I think I heard somebody say that they liked Clooney as the Batman. Did I hear that?
Clooney wasn't one of them.
Oh, okay. He was. Okay. So if you were to say prior to Affleck who the definitive Batman was, prior to Batfleck, who was the definitive Batman?
Whew, that's a good question. That's a very good question. I think it was
Christian Bale myself, but
okay.
I don't know. The trouble with the Christian Bale Batman is, I think Batman Begins is probably the best Batman movie in terms of a movie, having a beginning, middle, and end, tells a story, and delivers. But in terms of being Batman, I find it a little bit ordinary. It's a little bit too set in this world rather than Batman's world, Gotham City.
With dark I think that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I kind of like. I like the who played it in the Year One cartoon. That was pretty good. Was that Bryan Cranston was Commissioner Gordon? That's all I remember from it.
Peter Weller? Peter Weller played it in one of the cartoons.
Yeah, that was in the Dark Knight. It might have also been in Year One as well.
He was under
so we got Keaton, Clooney, and Val Kilmer. Anybody else?
If we're going cartoons, I'm going to have to. You have to say, oh god damn it, Stream Brain.
Oh, what's his name? Yeah.
Batman cartoon. He played one. He got in Batwoman that got killed.
Okay.
Don't forget Batman versus Robin, 2015 animation.
Kevin Conroy.
Jason
Kevin
O'Mara. Jason O'Mara played Bruce Wayne in that animation.
Okay. All right. Let's try to limit it to live action, actual actors, not voice people.
So now we're down to Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, or Christian Bale, right? There are 4 choices.
Or Adam West, I guess.
Oh, Adam West, not good friend. If we're putting Adam West in, he wins. You know, he didn't have to say he's Batman. Everybody knew he was Batman.
That's also one of the weird things, because as Tom will tell you, that was like the first time that a character jumped from the TV onto the movie screen. I believe. Is that right, Tom?
Maybe not necessarily.
No, the 1940s version.
There was
as far as jumping, well, he's got a point there as far as technically George Reeves, Superman and the Mole Men was in theaters.
Oh, that's right. God dang it.
But that was still technically, but that was technically 2 episodes or whatever
of television
together.
Yeah.
The Batman movie, that may be one of the first times. I'm sure there's maybe something out there where they did it before, but that could be, if not one of the first times they did an original complete film off of a TV show. I mean, you had things like Three Stooges in movies and stuff before, but those were technically reels, short reels before movies, so they were already in theaters. So you may have a point there. I'd have to look it up, but
I'm pretty sure I'm close to right.
Probably, because I think it predates anything like the Monsters movie and shit like that.
Okay, I just googled Batman actors, and there's a couple more we need to throw in. There's Del DeBone. Del DeBone was in Batman XXX. Then we have Nick Manning, who was in Batman. Oh, wait, I clicked on it.
If it's not made by Axel Braun, it doesn't count.
I don't know. Let me have a look. I'm trying to look it up. So was it? I'm going on his IMDb.
He's the only legitimate director that you could consider out of the porn genre, and I call it a genre because
When's biography? Nick Manning. Okay, he also played Terminator. Apparently, there we go. I'd say I'm looking for his movies.
I really don't want to look at any of those movies, but thank you.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I think film-wise, I think the best representation of Batman on screen, if you were looking for, some form of crime solving, would probably have been Adam West. But if you remove the idea that the movie was, a thing, then it would have to have been Bale, despite the fact that I think Keaton did a very good job. Yeah. I would like to take Clooney and throw that entire movie in the garbage bin. And Val Kilmer didn't, impress at all. So, and I still think that of the Nolan films, that the second movie is the best. And the only reason I say that is because you had performances that were just ridiculous by every single person that was in that film. Well, except for Tom Cruise's former wife. So.
Okay, the problem I have with it, the Dark Knight. That's what the problem I have with that was the bizarre survival of.
He has 2 former wives in Batman movies.
Oh, damn it! You're right.
Oh, right, yeah.
Hey, Larry is right. When my dad was a kid, they would have like Tom and Jerry cartoons, TV shows. You would go to the theater when my dad was a kid to see them. And
The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was amazing.
He told me stories about going to see TV shows at
That's
the
very
theater.
Yeah,
but what I think Culture's talking about though is actual like a specific film that wasn't just like reruns of the shows or anything like that. Like
it wasn't a double episode. It was actually legitimately a film. And I think that was Adam West. I think I'm gonna have to look all of the movie history crap up again, but I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right, Culture. Unless there's a technicality somewhere, like unless Lucy or somebody did they ever make a movie? I don't think anybody made a movie before that. Beverly Hillbillies. Anybody?
They did. There's a bunch of them. There's the Batman in 1943 and Batman and Robin in 1949.
Yeah, but those are serials. That's
Those
not
are
what we're
serials.
talking about. We're talking about we're talking
Yeah, I'm
about an
saying
actual movie
TV
made
show.
from a TV show, which was like a staple
Yeah.
from the 80s on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Honestly, for me, I think the best Batman on screen, other before Affleck, would be Michael Keaton. I think.
Wow.
I think I prefer,
it would be hard for me to argue with that because I think he did a very good job. I think he played the billionaire part very, very well. And he was less. Is ostentatious the right word? Maybe. Because Bale just seemed kind of...
Star Trek did, but that was in the 70s, Larry. Like, they did the Batman movie while the show was still on. Like, back in the 60s. That's what...
Yeah.
In the 60s, doing movie versions of TV shows was huge. That's how you got the two Dalek movies.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I should have been much more specific in my statement, but it's just, taking a TV show, turning it... Yeah, because here comes Bat Tom. Look out.
You're all wrong. It's me. I'm the bestest ever.
That's probably true.
I think as far as a comic book movie, Batman movie, Batman Begins is probably stronger as a comic book movie, but The Dark Knight, it works more for me as a good movie, just kind of with comic book characters.
But here's where we get weird, because I'm going to say that once you get past Bale and you get Batfleck on the screen, fuck. I mean, if they would have actually let him make the movie he wanted to make, because Batman was supposed to get his own thing. I mean, it was supposed to be all... I think... Have you seen that script, Tom?
Nope.
Oh, man. Because... flip.
That's not Tom. That's Bad Tom.
Oh, Bad Tom. Yeah, it was supposed to be... That thing was supposed to be amazing. And I really feel like we missed an opportunity. Well, maybe not. We'll see. If the Snyder Cut gets the traction that I think it'll get...
I think it's going to
I haven't seen the script, but I heard that it made angels cry.
Well, yeah, but did it make what's his dick cry from the freaking Clark's movie? What the hell is that guy's name? He's a fucking dick.
Oh, it makes everything cry.
It made him cry from his dick.
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith.
Cool
Tom, your Batman is a lot more like the college human Batman, which I think is one of my favorites.
It is very much in the same vein, yes.
Yeah, the main vein. Anyway.
With my own twist.
If I were to have a favorite Bruce Wayne, I think two. I hate it when I have brain farts.
Sorry?
I like Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he did a really good job with that. That Vicky Vale, even against Kim Basinger, who's a cold fish on the screen, in my opinion.
And I like Val Kilmer's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, but Val is a beautiful or was, and then he got like 1,100 pounds, and then he got throat cancer. So.
Yeah. But back when he was in prime shape, I like those two Bruce Waynes. I thought the two Bruce Waynes could have interchanged. They were pretty good.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
When it comes to the Bruce Wayne,
yeah, and that's kind of where I think, and that's kind of where I think Bale kind of missed the mark. A little bit is on his portrayal of the billionaire side of things. He played it. It was. I think that was which is weird to say in a comic book movie, but I think that was the part he played over the top. I think usually
you're right. That's a very good point. You're really right.
Usually you overplay the superhero part. It's over the top. He overplayed the billionaire part. Is over the top. I don't know. It was just weird. So, but anyway, back to the original intent of this particular thing. I think Bear was directing us to is the amazing movies that were made by these gentlemen behind me. And Bill and Ted are part of Americana in a way that I if you're anybody from the age of maybe 35 on, these guys up to probably about 60, these guys had an impact in your life, I think. And I think that and I think that you knew these people, and it was a conversation Tom and I had, this last week. I knew these guys. I knew these guys in high school. I knew these guys. I mean, these were the dudes that I knew. I wasn't these dudes, but I knew these dudes. So I could completely relate to these dudes. Not because I look like these dudes. Yeah.
Can I ask you? Do you still know these dudes from Face of Music?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were older, but yeah, they were the same.
Yeah, I still know, dude. I know these dudes. These are still the same dudes that Bear and I used to cross paths with. I know these dudes. I still know one of my friends who was very much like Ted. He passed away, but that dude, until the time he passed away, that dude was the same dude. Didn't matter, even when he had kids.
I was going to say, Bill and Ted are better off than some of the people I know, because like you just said, one passed away. Like a lot of people I know that would be like Bill and Ted went down very bad roads, but Bill and Ted being as sweet and innocent as they are and having the support system they have, I think is the reason why they didn't turn into what they become in their future selves when they screw up their own timeline.
Yeah, the guy that reminds me of Bill the most from my friend group, he's a multimillionaire. He's got a huge family. He's got wonderful life, and he is the same freaking guy. It's just I grew up with these guys, and their world revolved around a very limited number of things. And again, it wasn't necessarily music, but
do you know where Valley Talk was born?
The Valley?
Yeah. When I was 10, I lived in the Valley. I lived in Sacramento.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You lived in the Sac, yeah?
Yes, I did. And let me tell you, it was thick. Everybody talked that way. It was, totally gnarly. It wasn't gnarly. It was totally awesome.
Or bitchin'.
Or it was sweet, dude.
Dude, bitchin' Camaro. I ran over my neighbor.
And so
sorry,
you had all of that stuff here, smack dab. I was smack dab right in the middle of it. And when I see Bogus Journey and the Bill and Ted and everything in the way they talk, it's like, well, yeah. Totally,
Well, that stuff infected the skate scene too. That kind of talk. So in the mid '80s and stuff like that, you would still hear everybody cracking that down in Southern California, in this San Diego area, and all that. Del Mar, the whole area down there. But
there's a whole culture of gutter punks that are still like that.
Oh, they still talk that way. Yeah. And then what's really weird is, man, when you go to Hawaii and they are speaking bird at you, you like totally understand it, like, because you knew that, like, for sure, like, because it's like very similar, and they end everything like Canadians do with, oh yeah, man, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Man. Yeah, it's like this weird thing. It's not like, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm Caribbean or from Jamaica or something, but when Bird and Valley are very similar. So yeah, if you go to the 808, you'll hear, you'll be able to dig it if you understand Valley.
Oh yeah. When I moved back from because. The Valley of California, they weren't the only ones talking that way. Apparently, back then, we moved up to Portland, Oregon, and
for sure,
Vancouver. They talked that way too. Everyone talked that way.
Yeah,
every teenager I knew talked that way.
Yeah.
So when I went back to Indiana, people were looking at me like, "Who are you? And where'd you come from? And where'd you get those weird checkered shoes?" They were Vans. No one ever seen a pair of Vans in northwestern Indiana, and I was in ghetto town, Hammond, Indiana, man. And you did you probably had woven crisscross laces all the way over on. Oh, they were.
You never tied them ever. Yeah, never.
Vans.
Oh, you didn't even bother with the laces part. All right. Yeah, no, dude, I did the whole crosshatch path on my laces.
Yeah, I had black and white checkers, and I had black, red, and white checkers.
Yeah, I think I still have my blues. I think I still have my blues from my and you can tell like on the from where the skateboard wore them down. You know, like when I did any rollover moves or anything like that, where the grip tape just tore them up. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and handball, man. In California, handball.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
thing.
That's weird.
It was competitive, man. And
Oh, dude,
there was two different versions. There was handball with a racquetball, and then there was handball with one of those red balls that you use in battle ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was that kind of handball too.
Yeah.
And,
we played.
It was competitive.
Yeah, we did that. You did that up and down PB, but you could. You also play. Of course, you had sand volleyball, which I played a buttload of. But then you also had shit. Well, you had Smash Ball, of course, which still exists, and over the line. There were over the line tournaments in SoCal, freaking almost every day. I swear to God, for like 25 years. You know. They still play it down in SoCal like every weekend. You can get into a over the line tournament. So, yeah. Beach soccer became huge about 25 years ago. That was a thing. You know, of course back then it was we played a lot of hacky sack.
Oh yeah. Hacky sack was huge.
Yeah. But no, I mean to get back to the movie because we can talk about all the nostalgia that goes along with it. But I really, there a lot of people came out again that with strong opinions against the movie, which surprised me because I thought it represented the franchise very well, and it represented the age of the characters and the fact that they had to grow up, and the
plot of the movie was they hadn't grown up; they were still
well
basically useless, like 19-year-olds in their 40s.
I don't know that I understand what you're saying. I mean, I do, but I think they were still stuck in the same. Well, here I'm going to use this term. And they were stuck in the same trip, trying to do this thing that they were trying to do from the very beginning, which is to make this song happen, the one that would unite the world. They thought that the ultimate responsibility rested on their shoulders, so they had a constant drive. They were always correct me if I've got the wrong take on this, Tom, because but I think they were always trying to make the song that would unite the world.
No, I think they lost. I think you're right. I think they lost focus on the music and the band, which is more important. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what the third movie was more about. And I think the overall arcing kind of story, because if you listen to what Rufus says at the end of the first film, it says, your music will align the planets in harmony and, all these things that we see in the last film. But in the process of them not paying attention to just having, not so much fun, but enjoying the music and being a part of their lives and the band growing and being a part of everything, the band broke up. They've been too obsessed with trying to find this, sound that they can't seem to grasp. They're going all kinds of different directions. They've got the support system there with their wives and the kids.
Yeah.
So they've been able to do that. So unlike, that's where I feel like when the moment they change their path is when they go to the future and they see what they could have become without the girls in their lives and without the drive there and the overall focus, because then once they lose that, that's where they become drunken losers. And it's because they disrupted their own timeline. And because Kelly shows up when the separation is imminent, just like when Rufus shows up in the first film when the separation's imminent.
Yeah.
Exactly when Ted says, I think I'm going to sell the guitar, that's when Kelly shows up. And
right.
And then when they go back and tell their wives not to go with themselves, that's when that sets up the whole thing in this like domino motion, and them going to try and steal their own music from themselves fucks everything up. And
whole plot thread was just with the wives was very confused, right? I mean,
I think it's deleted. I feel like
that's what I get. It was like where'd they come from? What they doing? Why didn't we see? I thought they were Bill and Ted.
See, the thing with the wives is, I believe the intention was, and I want to ask Ed about this because I think there's some shit on the cutting room floor.
There's a lot on the floor.
Yeah, I think so. And I think the intention was, because we kind of get the idea at the end of the film, was that the girls were not there to tell him, you can't be happy with Bill and Ted like Bill and Ted thought. That's where the misconception came in. And that's where they went back and told the wives that this is what happened. when they did that to themselves. Because remember, he goes, "We're making it worse." Yeah, we're making it worse, dude. Because that's what Bill meant when he said, "You guys go back and you make it worse." And like, there's the whole thing with going into different, like, they didn't do a good job of letting us know that they're going into different alternate universes in this film. Because the first film was just going through straight time, right? Second film was Heaven and Hell. This is us getting to see alternate versions of Bill and Ted, and they had meant, I think, to play with this a lot more, because there was even supposed to be a scene where they go back and see themselves on the night they meet Rufus, seeing themselves. So it was like this whole thing where they were going to be, like.
They were supposed to be like
they wanted to do that, but it just didn't.
Yeah,
work
there
out
was an
really,
empty lot next to the Circle K, and they were supposed to be witnessing. See, I'd heard all that stuff. I didn't know that it actually truly.
It didn't get filmed because it was going to cost too much, and it just didn't work out the way they wanted it to. But no, again, I think like the whole overarching storyline with them like losing sight of this whole thing, and the wives thing is the wives were just coming to show them, no, you're happy where you're at, and then the wives were meant to get them to MP46, but everything got fucked up because the Caleb, the robot or whatever, killed everybody. So they all wound up in hell.
The robot was funny. He was.
Yes, I hated Dennis the first time, but the second time I watched the movie, I'm like, this character's funny. I get it now. He's basically like the station / Grim Reaper of this movie. Yeah,
right.
Like, yeah.
But if he was, last thing I seen him in is the HBO show Barry, which is pretty good.
He played Victor Saz. He played Victor Saz on Gotham and a few other things too. Yeah, he's a pretty prominent actor.
It's not very clear what happened to Rufus in Bogus Journey.
He's dead.
And that was
we know he disguised himself as Miss Wardrobe reveals herself to be disguised as Rufus in the movie, but they really don't tell us what happened to him in this movie.
And that was the thing I talked with Tom about, that I think that there were like 3 things that I thought that were missing, and then I need to head off to bed, guys. I've got a couple of things I got to do in the morning for the live stream, but that was the thing that bothered me. I didn't like, it was such a limited homage in the third film to Rufus, and they had a voice actor that did a really good job of reproducing his voice. And Tom, I mean, I think you agree with me. They could have done a little more exposition there to try to give us some insight into what happened. I mean, I know there was supposed to be a limited cameo that didn't happen, but
because at first he was lost in the circuits of time when he dealt with Denomalos.
The word I can't say.
Anomalous.
Yeah.
Denomalos.
The PE teacher guy.
You have to say Denomalos in order to say it.
I am Denomalos.
Okay, very good. And then, the thing that bothered me is the same thing that bothered Tom, which is we needed death in the last scene of the film, in the post credits cut scene that we got there. I think that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say.
it absolutely was, wasn't it?
That's the one bit that really bothered. I wouldn't say that necessarily George Carlin was slighted or overlooked, because his role, Rufus, is still a huge part of this movie. But I agree with Culture. Like, they should have had, because they do explain why Kelly comes from that point. Like, Rufus is already dead at that point in their future, so that's understandable. Yeah. She says they just found this anomaly. Yeah. And it lines up with her father's prophecy, right? Or the prophecy, or what her father, what he had figured the prophecy meant. Anyway, I'm trying to look for the word. Interpreted the prophecy to be. But then that's where his wife says that there's other people who interpret it differently, and they say that for everything to be set correctly, Bill and Ted need to die. So like there's all that stuff still there from Rufus. So like I get where Kelly is coming from that point in history to where Rufus has already passed away. But like what Culture, and I think this is what you're talking about, where I said is I think what they should have done is just had that cameo, held it off for that very last bit where they're playing music and shit, and had him show up, had his original, and just show up, and then had how they've showed it before where he shows up in one phone booth, the other phone booth disappears, and then the other one shows up or whatever. This time when the other phone booth disappears, he goes over to the phone booth that Bill and Ted took from the future, and he goes, I knew you guys could do it, and just walks into the phone booth and takes off. So they no longer have a phone booth at that point. So that sets up to where there's no more after this. Rufus has seen them, fulfill the prophecy. He's came from his time, and that's all you really needed was Kelly. Kelly kind of already explained to you that she's coming from that point in the future. But I think that would have been a little bit better of a send-off from Rufus to have him show up at the very, very end. Because like Culture said, that voice actor they got was perfect. That's all you did is just say, I knew you boys could do it or whatever. And just, get in the phone booth and give them a little salute and walk in and go away. And that's it. That would have been enough for me. Because I didn't really care for the little hologram thing. That was stupid.
And then the third thing, yeah. And the third thing.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
Yeah, the third thing before I check out, gentlemen, because I have to go to bed. I'm fading fast. But I did not like the actress that played Kelly.
That was my other point of contention. If they should have had Alanis Morissette or Janine Garofalo, somebody cooler. I didn't like Kristen Schaal in the part. I liked the character. I didn't like her in it though.
Yeah, I think it worked on paper. She's a good comedian. She can be funny. But I think I just don't. Honestly, the character was written too flat for that actress. Right?
Thank you.
There wasn't enough to do there.
That's exactly the word I was going to say. No, the performance. Her performance didn't line up with the lines. It didn't line up with what the character was supposed to be. So it needed to be a more deadpan delivery throughout most of the lines. But anyway, guys, thanks for inviting me in, Bear. I really appreciate it. You guys know I love these films, so anytime anybody wants to talk Bill and Ted, you can always ask for me. If I'm available, I'll show up. But I need to pass out because I have to be an adult tomorrow morning before my stream with Wes. So you guys have a lovely night. I really appreciate all of you. You guys are wonderful human beings. Even Tom. And I'll see you soon.
Take care,
have a great night, guys.
Hey, take care.
See you tomorrow.
Well, Wookie says no Alanis Morissette, but let me give you my case for Alanis. You need somebody, and that's where I think that Kristen Schaal came off flat, is you need somebody who's cool and can handle because like if you picture somebody who's like Janine Garofalo or Alanis Morissette, who's not all like Kristen Schaal is, but is like more cool and laid back doing a lot of that shit, like I think it would come off funnier. And the reason I think Alanis Morissette would have been a good choice because it ties back to Jay and Silent Bob.
I was just thinking that.
And Jay and Silent Bob were hugely inspired by Bill and Ted. She played God in the Bill and Ted in the Jay and Silent Bob universe. Yeah, I know some people don't like her. I know you don't like her, evidently, but think she's a moron. But I think she would have had the calm, cool that Kristen Schaal didn't have because she doesn't have the comedic wildness that Kristen Schaal had, and she could have just kind of played it straight. Yeah, and that's the thing is, you look at Rufus. In our minds, it makes complete sense to have somebody like George Carlin play him, but he's playing against part. He's not playing a comedic part. Like most people don't stop to think of that.
It's a really innovative casting, but they got George Carlin.
It is, but like you think, oh, a comedian. Well, you wouldn't get Robin Williams to play Rufus or Jim Carrey to play Rufus, but George Carlin's a different kind of comedian. He plays, he plays it cool. He plays it straight. He doesn't ham it up. He does a few of his little... I can think of a much worse casting. Amy Schumer. Oh, God. Yes, that would have been worse.
And I can see the idiots in Hollywood going, oh, yeah.
I get it. Ed and the guys, they all went from this, we need a comedian to do this. No. That was the problem. If you're going to do that, then like Janine Garofalo or somebody like that. Somebody who's sarcastic, but not like, too over the top like Kelly was. Or Kristen Schaal was playing Kelly.
I like the interaction between the evil versions of them, Bill and Ted.
Yes.
Well, are we talking about in Bogus Journey or
one specific scene that was kind of a throwback to Star Trek?
Which scene?
In Bogus Journey?
Yes.
When they show
hated that. Yeah. I hated that. It was like
I liked it.
I just didn't. They were watching on TV, and then they were there, and it just seemed it seemed more shoehorned in than it was in Picard. which was incredibly shoehorned in.
Yeah, but I'll let Bill and Ted do it because they're doing it to be ironic.
Yes. Yes. And did you notice when they showed them falling down? It was a lot farther than it actually really was. Did you catch that?
Catch you later, Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
I don't know how long
of
a fall that really is. I've never been there, so I don't know.
Well, when they fall into hell,
because they show the cliff from a far out pan in other movies and other TV shows, and the drop they show, it's not that far of a drop. Far enough to kill you, but I kind of liked it because it was kind of like a little cartoonesque.
Oh yeah, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is definitely a cartoon.
Oh yeah,
right.
I liked it. I liked the way they did it, and I like that moment.
And I don't mean that in a bad way either, obviously, because I mean, of course, for those who may have missed our show last night or whatever, I love Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey equally. I see them as like Alien and Aliens. You know, they're two of the same franchise, but they're two different animals. You know what I mean?
Different. So this makes Face the Music more like Prometheus?
No, I actually enjoyed Face the Music quite a bit. I give it an 8 out of 10. I feel like it's a damn near perfect trilogy almost. Now, would I have rather had a Bill and Ted movie 10 years ago? Oh, fuck yes. 15 years ago? Hell yeah. The fact that we got this and it's not a complete piece of shit, in my opinion, I'm just relieved because I went into this scared as fuck, as most people did. Even knowing what I knew, I was still worried. The fact that I walked out of the whole thing the first time with just the sigh of relief that it wasn't complete garbage. Like I was able to watch it the second time and just enjoy it. And then the third time it was just complete immersion because I was actually able to watch it in my home theater the third time. So instead of a screen.
Also, a little fun fact: the Bill and Ted fandom wiki, it lists their kids that they had as Little Ted and Little Bill.
Right, that's what they called them in Bogus Journey. Although, to be honest with you, that didn't really work for me either. The ending of that, when they turn up with the beards, the point was you have to struggle.
That wasn't the original ending.
Oh, what was the original ending?
Well, I got some pictures here, and it all starts back with them in hell. When they don't face their fears, they actually go and play the Grim Reaper instead.
That's interesting.
So when they're on their way to the Battle of the Bands, they run into their fears. Let me get the pictures up here.
Because William Sadler as Death did an amazing job in that film. That was all it's been so long since I've seen Bogus Journey. That's really the only part that I remembered about it. And I can see why those parts stuck out. And I noticed there's a little William Sadler cameo where he was playing just an ordinary guy, some ordinary dad.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
I did like they had the same actress for Missy in all three movies.
Yes.
Was that the same?
I looked up on IMDb. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's the same chick. Yeah.
Is Missy the blonde or the brunette?
Blonde.
Missy's
blonde.
She's the stepmom.
Missy's the woman who married. There was a babysitter who married Ted's father.
Yeah, Bill's father, then Ted's father, and then Ted's
maybe
brother?
Should marry you.
Yeah, then Ted's a brother or so. Yeah, it was just weird. Beck Bennett was good casting as well for that. That whole thing is just weird.
See, because in the original ending of the script, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, it wasn't even about the song, it was about the speech they gave. Because remember, if you listen to the dialogue early on, they talk about a speech, nothing about a song. It's all about the speech. And that speech, part of it's in the Reaper song from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey soundtrack. But here's a picture of them on their way. The van gets stopped. Here's Granny, the Colonel Oates, and the Easter Bunny. And the Easter Bunny's like some fucking 6 foot fucking thing, and Granny's all nappy looking and shit. And so they have to face their fears on their way to the concert to get there. And so they face down their fears, and then they get there, and then the evil robots have the girls. All that stuff's still the same up until the evil robots kill them again. So they end up going back to hell, and Death has to bring them back again. And then Denamolo shows up and all that stuff. Like most of the stuff plays out again like it does. And then Denamolos actually gets killed. and goes to hell. And then because there's like the last bit after the movie's over, you have Death come in and goes, "Would you like to play a game?" or something like that to Denomalos, and he's like, "Oh no." He's like, yeah. So that was like the original ending, and then like all they do is just give the speech, and like that's it. They don't really play a song. So like, yeah. And here's another picture of the rabbit attacking the van here. I was trying to find a few more. So yeah, the song was kind of secondary, and here's more of the separation thing, because like to set up the whole thing with Rufus later on.
Yeah.
Evil Bill and Ted, they do. It's a stupid joke and it makes no sense. But like the princesses are like, "But what are you doing?" It's like, "Well, we see we're not really Bill and Ted." And then, they pull each other's skins off and they are each other underneath. It's really weird. It's just to kind of set up that you can do this. It's just a stupid joke. And it didn't make sense. But then Station, oh wait, I didn't share that right. Sorry. Here we go. Now you can actually see it, right? See them pulling off their faces and shit?
Nope, same image.
Did it do it again? Oh, so you haven't been seeing any of these?
Nope.
It's doing the fucking Windows thing again. God damn it. Now did it change?
Nope.
Nope. None of this changed. All right. Fucking thing.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's it.
Ooh, that's an evil
Sorry
rabbit.
about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've been showing all these pictures and you guys ain't seen any of them.
That was Ted's fear, right?
Yeah, there's all three of them there. And then here's the other angle.
Yeah, 6-foot bunnies are named Harvey.
Uh,
Great
And then
Jimmy Stewart movie.
here's them just before the speech, because they use the heads like they do, remember?
Yeah.
They're just hanging on to them here because they just used they didn't have the heads, remember?
yeah. At the,
Yeah, see, that's how they killed Denomalos, is with the heads. This is them. The look right here is when Denomalos shows up.
Ah.
So this is all unedited, and this is them giving the original speech here. So they never went forward in time in the original ending. And here's more of the body splitting shit I was talking about, because they had Evil Bill and Evil Ted split themselves and say, "I'm actually Evil Bill and I'm actually Evil Ted." It doesn't really make sense. It's fucking stupid.
I seem to remember something like this. Was there like an outtake for these?
I think maybe a part of this scene wound up in the TV version, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. Or it's in the comic books and it's in the cards. It's been in the books, the cards, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if there's ever been any video of it. I've never seen any video of it. There is a few shots in a couple of the TV trailers that weren't in the movie that were from the original fight at the end, where you see Bill and Ted flying across the floor when they get killed, and stuff like that. That weren't in the movie and shit like that. But yeah, so there's just a lot of stuff that just didn't wind up in the movie, and then they changed the whole ending again, and that's where Station came in, because in one of the rewrites, because this is actually like the second or third time they had to rewrite the ending, Station came in because one of the first rewrites they had to do, they deleted a whole big chunk of the script on the word processor, but accidentally left the word station hanging there from interior police station.
Ah. So it was the
I
accident.
noticed that after your interviews and the things, Tom, I noticed the word station a lot more than I did. First time.
So they're like, they just saw that and it was like whatever time in the morning, and they're like, station. Just everything was station, kind of like I Am Groot. So it was only a joke between Ed and Chris. So like, fuck it, let's make an alien, and all he says is station. And it was a big fuck you to the studio for making him keep changing the ending, because they had no way out of this thing. And they're like, oh, they're going to build robots. What are they going to do with them? Oh, we'll have, so they're coming up with all this shit just to try and fill in the ending. So they were never too happy about the ending.
Yeah, and that's what Bogus Journey really reeks of, like just way too much studio interference.
So do you think we could ever get a director's cut of Bogus?
Probably not, because I'm questioning if they've even. Here's the thing. This says on this Blu-ray that this is a most excellent 4K restoration, but I have yet to find any proof that they actually went back to the original negatives, and there's some other people that are questioning that too. And there's a rumor going around that Alex Winter's still looking for the negative for Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
I got to tell you, after
Oh.
rewatching it, I used to think that Bogus Journey was a much lesser film than Excellent Adventure, but having watched Bogus Journey again today, I enjoyed it quite a lot more than I remembered enjoying it the last time I saw it. And it's pretty darn close up there with. It's a different film for sure, but I really enjoyed it actually.
Every time I watch it, I get a different takeaway.
Yeah, that sounds fair. I can see that
Yeah.
happening.
Well,
Every
like the
time
original thing. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Because there's a bunch of tidbits here and there, and I'm noticing something different every time I watch it.
Oh, Bogus Journey is a gem, even with its downfalls in the third act. I mean, if anything, all the third act really does is just make it a pain in the ass to get going and face the music, and that's what Ed has always said. Because like those end credit things, they had nothing to do with that. That was the credit studio that did that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had nothing to do, and they were pissed because they're like, well, what the fuck are we supposed to do if we ever want to do another one? Even though Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves were like, no, we're good, because they didn't want to do the second one to begin with. That's to take it back to the beginning. Like Orion and all them were like, we need another one. Let's do another one because it was a hit. And they're like, no, we don't want to. And then
I can tell you that was my favorite part of Face the Music, the Orion logo at the beginning. Because they're not a company anymore, are they?
No, MGM they're just a name under MGM.
Right.
MGM.
But I thought that was very cool, them putting in that Orion logo.
Yeah, they did it in front of RoboCop and Child's Play as well.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Just for nostalgic reasons, I guess. But like, so then they're like, okay, well, we want another one. They came when they're like, okay, well, they want us to basically just destroy our characters. Because once you make a sequel, what happens is you fuck up your characters and nobody likes the sequel. So we're basically killing our characters. So what if we kill them? So that's where they came up with the concept of Bill and Ted Go to Hell. Like they came up with the whole idea, basically what we got. And they took it to the studio, and the studio's like, fuck to the no. You're not killing your main characters. You're not doing this. Is fucking crazy. Just do one like the original, okay? The studio wanted them to go back, rewrite it, and have it be about English class this time. Pick up right after the first one. English class this time, though. And this is why I brought up the deal about last night with the animated series. The second movie the studio wanted was them going into classic literature and bringing out people like Huck Finn and Captain Ahab and shit like that.
Yeah, that would have been a bad idea.
So that's why we got the school opening in the future?
No, but that's the idea that the studio wanted to go with. Was just going to be a direct Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 2, and it was just going to be the same fucking movie, but instead of historical figures, it would be an English class with English characters, like, out of like I said, like Huck Finn and Captain Ahab and or Uncle Scrooge or whatever, shit like that, Scrooge and whatever characters from literature, you know what I mean? Maybe Dorothy or something like that,
right.
Shit like that, and bring them out of the books and into the classroom. Well, the second season of the cartoon basically was that. That's why I said that's ironic. So they basically reused that idea for that shitty season of that cartoon.
So in the opening scene when Rufus brought back historical figures for the Bill and Ted University class, was Thomas Edison, Sir James Martin, Jonathan Sebastian Bach, and Rhea Pichel, I guess. And I think there's
Mike from Faith No More.
Yep. From Faith No More.
Well, all what we got the original script. What happened is Ed and Chris went to Keanu and Alex, and they're like, well, this is what they want us to do. And they're like, well, no, we want to do Go to Hell. And so they went back to the studio and said, Keanu and Alex won't do it unless it's Go to Hell. And so the studio buckled. And that's well, what are they going to do? Recast Bill and Ted? And at that time,
yeah, impossible.
And you got look at it this way: Alex Winter was the big star when they did the first one. Keanu Reeves was a super fucking star by this point. He had done. This was the same year he had Point Break come out and a few other things. He had done Dracula, I think, coming up and shit like that. Like he was a in-demand star. So for them to get Keanu back and shit like that, so for him to be able to sign on, they were going to do whatever the fuck he wanted. He even got top billing on this one over Alex. So like they decided, yeah, we'll do that, but then the budget got so big. Like, they spent so much money on this movie. Like, the second movie, but it shows it on the screen, and there's so much shit they spent we didn't get to see, like the stuff I just showed you guys.
So Tom, you could say this was a situation where the actors got together with the writers and says, hey, let's say this and do this and see what they do.
Pretty much. It was not going to happen unless they got to Go to Hell. Yeah. No, I mean, they all kind of knew they were never going to let him call it Bill and Ted Go to Hell, but they called it Bill and Ted Go to Hell through production.
They should have used that title. It was much better.
Oh, well, the problem with that is, and this is where, it makes business sense. You call a movie Bill and Ted Go to Hell, first of all, it's going to get rated PG-13 or R right off the bat. Secondly, they're not going to advertise it in prime time. Thirdly, there's a lot of newspapers that won't show ads for it.
Oh, right. This was the early 90s, late 80s.
Yeah, so like,
you gotta remember, the Bible Belt had a lot of influence still back.
Exactly. Like, the fact that this movie had to deal with heaven and hell in and of itself was bad enough. So I mean, they played that up in the trailers, but like the title was insignificant. Everybody called it Bill and Ted's 2 anyway.
Right.
Nobody really ever referred to it as Bogus Journey or anything like that per se. It was always just Bill and Ted's 2 or whatever, Right. I mean, most of us called it Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey eventually.
You know something they could have done, which would have been really interesting, right? Speaking about like the Bible Belt, the religious right from the late 80s, early 90s, mid late 80s, and how they had like quite a lot of control over media, like a stranglehold over entertainment. Well, the opposite is truth now. It's like we have like the anti-Bible Belt, the anti-creationists have a stranglehold over entertainment, and they could have done something interesting about like juxtaposing the two things, but I guess we just thought of it just now when you mentioned it, Tom. So unless we have a time machine, unless a phone booth opens up, not so much. But
Bill, go ahead. Sorry.
There was something also that clicked after watching all this, and I started thinking about Doctor Who, Police Phone Box, Bill and Ted's Adventure, Phone Booth.
Well, it's clearly based on the
interesting homage for sure.
Yeah, no, it's clearly touching that, right? I mean, because
actually, like Ed and Chris have stated several times that they never saw Doctor Who till much later.
Really?
Yeah,
that's crazy because it feels like it's it feels like they're riffing off like the campiness of the PBS Tom Baker Doctor Who's, right?
Actually, the main inspiration was Monty Python.
Yeah,
really? So
most people misinterpret because Ed just said it again the other day on Twitter, because somebody asked, was there a Doctor Who influence? Definitely because of the phone booth, and Ed said again, no, actually, Chris and I never saw Doctor Who till much later. The phone booth was just something because in the original script it was a van. We talked about this last night, but you weren't here. In the original script, it was a van. Rufus drove around a van, and he was a 28-year-old sophomore who just showed up in Bill and Ted's life. And it turns out he was from the future, and his van was a time machine. Well, then Back to the Future came out in the meantime. So like, well, we got to change something. So what's something kind of like that that's kind of just nonchalant, that's everywhere? Oh, a phone booth. And it was just kind of a random thing, like, because otherwise their main inspiration for Bill and Ted is more Monty Python meets the Valley, Kids. Yeah.
Plus, Superman comes out of a phone booth, so the idea, superheroes come out of phone booths. Then you got that. Because Bill and Ted are basically heroes.
I think it was more just...
Yeah, Ted says in Face of Music at the end, like, basically, I'm an infinite being by this point, which I thought was kind of cute.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is I think the phone booth thing, if from what I recall, is they just said it was more of an unassuming thing. Like, outside of when you go outside of a time when there's no phone booths, for the most part, there's phone booths for the entire 20th century. So,
Right.
Like,
that makes it exactly like Doctor Who.
It kind of does. And they say they don't, they don't like resent or like say, oh no, like we don't like that there's comparisons. It's just ironic. Then they've gone through the same shit with Back to the Future as well. But they started writing Bill and Ted the same time Back to the Future was being written. So, it's just one of those things where just, great minds think alike kind of thing, I guess. Because, I mean, they've had no issues with saying that Monty Python was a huge influence and all these other things and stuff like that. And it was just basically a skit to begin with. So, they were just two dudes talking to the audience. So, well, three originally, but yeah.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, very.
But no, what did you guys? So I know, Wes, you pretty much liked Bill and Ted Face the Music. Bear, you got to talk a little bit about now. Go ahead.
I'll finish your thought.
I was gonna say, I was curious. How do you say your name, Rabbi?
Oh, just Svi. So everybody calls
Zvi?
me Rabbi. It's much easier. Imagine it's spelled Svee, and then it comes
Zvi.
out right.
Gotcha.
Listen, I think it's pretty much comparable to the other Bill and Ted's, which was disposable fun. That's how I always looked at them. It's like Bill and Ted to me is something that you get when you're at Blockbusters, when you're looking for fun thing for an evening. And it kind of fit in the same like it wasn't like earth shattering. I think 7.5, 8 out of 10 is reasonable for it. It clearly had a lot more love in it than Bogus Journey. That reached the screen. There were bits that cut out that made it make little sense. But yeah, listen, it was kind of stupid fun, which is with amiable leads, and very much tied to the other movies. Yeah, I think the only people they recast were the wives, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Throughout the films, the only people who ever showed up again, because even they have the same dads throughout the movie, except for the third film doesn't have Bill's dad in it, but it was the same dad in the second one, even though he didn't have any lines.
Yeah, I like Derek. I thought Derek.
Yeah, I just looked depressed in the second film because Misty was.
Yeah. Oh, the little brother was recast in the third film. That's not the same kid in the.
Yeah, well, he's a real big.
It doesn't really matter, but yeah. I mean, the princesses, my only issue with them in the third film was that they were much younger than they should have been in real life. Because
they were much younger and more attractive.
If I had a nitpick, I kind of wanted to see more of their adventure than the daughters collecting the musical.
Yes.
And somebody actually got the two original princesses together for an interview. They don't look that bad. I mean, you can tell they're older, but like, they don't really look that bad. They could have just got the original chicks back. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Wes. My bad.
No, no worries.
Didn't use the original.
I wanted to see. That's all right. I just wanted to see the event. I wanted to see, their adventure through the alternate timelines because it seemed like it was a pretty important plot point in Bill and Ted 3. And the daughters, it seemed kind of like a retread of Excellent Adventure, what they were doing just with musical figures. So I thought it would have been interesting to see, the wives come to the realization and experience the different timelines, how they came to the conclusion that they belonged with Bill and Ted. I thought that
sounds like a much more interesting movie. Yeah, that sounds like a much more interesting movie. I think my biggest disappointment was that little post-title sequence, like the after credit sequence, when I was just expecting Death to show up and to talk something about like what life is, All right, yeah, they totally could have used it. Although I'm guessing that they had a bigger role in this movie that's just been cut out, so they probably needed like people who are currently working as actresses who they probably weren't.
I think you're right. I think that because the chick playing Bill's wife, I can't remember her name right now, but she's a pretty prominent actress. Like she was in Glee and shit and some other things. Yeah,
she was in
that and she clicks all the boxes of elegant and pretty. If she was a princess, you got to click the boxes when it's a princess, Otherwise, it doesn't look too good in a movie or a show if those boxes ain't clicked.
I mean, at least the original actresses have taken it in stride. It seems like they're in good humor about the whole thing. I mean, they were recast in the second film too.
They were,
and nobody fucking noticed. That's what I'm saying. Nobody noticed.
Yeah, it's like Back to the Future. Nobody noticed that they recast
until they did.
Weird, that guy. He is so freaking weird. Who was it? It wasn't that actor. He was in charge.
Crispin Glover.
Yeah, he is freaking weird.
Yeah, Crispin Glover is.
But unfortunately, he was right.
Yeah. Well, you know what's weird is that both Crispin Glover and Leah Thompson, they both, after the 30 years that elapsed, they both look like their older selves. I was like, wow, that's some good makeup.
Yeah, Crispin Glover.
Like Crispin Glover hasn't aged a bit, really. Actually, I mean, he's a little older, but
he
man,
looks like a happier version of the after Marty comes back from 1955. He looks like the happier version of George. He does.
No, but you're right. Crispin Glover is a strange fucking cat. Definitely.
He's done these weird movies, like was it that he's self-financed, and they're so creepy and strange.
He does his own music and shit too.
I believe. Hey, look, he's a very creative guy. He's got a lot.
I didn't say it was good.
Well, if we're going to go down the rabbit hole of Crispin Glover being right about them having, we'll say better, that they're a little bit more affluent when Marty comes back. I think he's wrong on that point, because when you're a happier person and you're following your dreams and you're more well balanced and he and Lorraine are working together.
Oh no, I meant he was right in real life about suing Universal.
Oh, you mean the recast?
Oh, yeah.
Totally. Yeah,
because they totally hid that. Nobody knew. Everybody thought that was Crispin Glover, and then they reused footage without getting permission. So, like, that's the reason why they changed the law for that or whatever in the guild. Just because of him, yeah.
Hey, have you seen Crispin? Have you seen him in American Gods?
Oh yeah, he's wrong about the other shit. Definitely.
Have you guys seen him in American Gods?
No, but I can imagine.
Oh my God, he plays a sadistic character. And it's man, you gotta check it out.
I can imagine he's got to be a nightmare to work with, because if you've heard any of the stories about
because he's crazy.
He's supposed
any crazy person is a nightmare to work with. When you want to get something done and somebody's being crazy.
So he's highly eccentric with extra dashes of eccentric.
What did Bob and Bob say? He was right about 50% of the time or something. Or was it?
As far as his choices for George McFly, he was dead wrong. His acting choices, all that kind of shit, he's wrong. What he was right about was just the whole thing about them misleading the audience into thinking that George McFly was played by him in the second film when it wasn't. Yeah. But as far as Crispin Glover goes, he's a nuttier than a fruitcake. He wanted when he went back to the 50s, he wanted to do a bunch of weird shit. Like he wanted to be more like a slickster and all this kind of thing. And fucking Bob's like, no, you're supposed to be this geek and all this shit like that. And it doesn't match your character from when you're older. And he wanted to do a bunch of shit that would never match anything else. And then like the part you're talking about, Wes, is I think at the end of the movie, he fundamentally disagreed with how the movie was ending. And he wanted George to be like some... what it was. He was like dressed like, I can't remember how Bob Zemeckis and Bob Gill.
He was be wearing like a wife beater or some shit.
Yeah, he was wearing like a wife beater and sunglasses or something and some other weird shit. And
wow,
it was just like, yeah.
There's an outtake with Michael J. Fox where he's. I think they're making fun of Crispin Glover.
think you're right. I honestly, it's funny you brought that up because that's what I always pictured in my head when I heard that story after seeing that deleted scene. I think they are making fun of him.
They are. Yep, because that's exactly what he said he wanted to do.
Yeah. Actually,
I think probably he's the guy that everyone got quiet when he walked in the room.
Sure, 100%. But like that, but his court case went well. I was saying the other time that an actor sued for misrepresentation in a movie that I can think of was Alien 3. Michael Biehn sued I think whoever, Sony, for they have a picture of him in Alien 3 as it comes up deceased. Yeah,
and didn't they have now if I'm not mistaken, didn't they not only have that, but didn't they use like, because in the movie in the second film, I think they had to take a cast of his face so they could do that one scar. Didn't they make a dummy out of his face or some shit like that?
Same like that. Thing yeah. And he was fine with that.
Yeah.
You didn't sue them for that. But the other thing for using him in Alien 3, one still cost them, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. That it was a bad still as well. It's incredible.
Because they used the same thing for the little girl too. I can't remember what they had to make life cast of her for or whatever, but because there's that body in there and it supposedly
I'll tell you, that's one of the most disturbing moments in cinema. The autopsy of Newt. Really?
It was pointless. It's just
it was David Fincher saying, "This is not Alien. We are moving on." That's what it was.
I don't know.
The original cut is so much better.
It is, but it's Go ahead.
It's got Paul McGann in it. It has a real plot line in it.
If you take Alien 3 on its own without aliens, it's a great movie.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a great movie. I will give it that. It's not nearly the Batman Return or Batman and Robin that it gets it got stigma of in the series. But the problem is you have aliens, and it didn't pay that off, and it was misrepresented from the start. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know how it was over there, but like over here, they started the campaign for that movie like a year and a half out, and they promised us aliens.
At the time.
Yeah, they promised us aliens on Earth.
Oh,
that
really?
was the original trailer. Yeah, this time they're coming to Earth.
Terrible.
That was like the
Nothing
original
like that
trailer,
cool.
the original teaser trailer, and all it said was because all it started was you just started seeing this planet rising, and it says next summer. Or summer 1993 or whatever year it was, 92 or whatever it came out. It was like the most terrifying creature will return to the screen. And you just started seeing the green letters start to form like the original Alien logo. And then it got the little 3 next to it. And it's like, in this time, there's no getting away from him.
Yes, I do remember that trailer.
Yeah.
It's
The original plan, I think, was they were going to do something on Earth. And then Fincher's like, nah, I want to do something else.
Well, no, the original, there's so many original plans. There's the William Gibson screenplay. There's the Fred Ward one on the basically wooden spaceship, which is basically this space station is basically what this was. Listen, guys, I'm gonna have to go. I'm afraid it's getting late for me, but late in a different way. It's 10:30. I got work I need to do, so it's like
all right.
It's fine. Listen, all of you, please feel free to come on my channel anytime. Anybody in the chat, please go to my channel. In fact, anybody on the panel, go to my channel. Hit the subscribe button. I am like nine subscribers away from 1,600, and I have good competitions going each week. This week's prize is a Doctor Who DVD, The Talons of Wen Chiang. If you've never seen Doctor Who, this is a pretty good one to start with. Go to the channel, subscribe, and then on comment on any video, Mr. Sin. Hashtag Mr. Sin. Go look at the video notes, just copy and paste. It's easy if you don't know. And we're doing the prize draw tomorrow night when I'm on the TARDIS zone, and we're doing a watch along of a 2006 episode, which you're welcome to join us for as well. Thank you very much for having me on.
Hey, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. And you will find the rabbi's link to his channel in the chat.
Oh yes, right there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening, have a good day, have a good morning, depending where you are.
It's fun talking with you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good night. Morning.
Nice guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice guy.
Well, here's an interesting thing about Alien Resurrection. I guess Sigourney Weaver, when she threw the basketball backwards and it made the basket, that was actually she actually did that.
Yeah.
That was the, oh my God, I can't believe I made that thing.
I don't know how many takes it took her, but yeah. But I think the director was like either her or the director was insistent on getting it all in one shot. Yeah, they didn't want to do it with computer. But
so it's all seamless.
Yeah, but Bill and Ted anyway.
Yeah, Bill and Ted. Yep. So yeah, Bogus Journey. Yeah, it's a lot better than.
I think we lost Wes.
My internet's messing around with me here. Hold on.
There you go.
Sound like you said your internet just scooped.
Okay, I should be good now.
I went back to the thing. I was like, okay, am my internet messing up? It's like, oh, okay, that was Wes.
It was mine. Around midnight, for whatever reason, you have to reset things. I don't know why. That's around what time it is. But yeah, let's see. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. It's better than I remembered it being. I really enjoyed it. More than I remember enjoying it the last time around. I actually thought the third act, it was fine. It worked for me. I even liked the newspaper clippings at the end, but still, Still, Death really, I think, stole the show in a lot of ways for me. Still.
Oh yeah, I think that's a fan favorite. Even those who dislike the movie, they'll always say, "Oh, but William Sadler was awesome as a Grim Reaper." Like they always say that. Like I've never heard anybody not at least add that addendum to the. I didn't like the second one, but kind of thing.
Right.
There's one really funny scene that I completely forgot about, and it's when they're getting the robot parts, and first of all, they're like getting the weirdest shit to make this robot like a dustbuster. And Death walks by, and there's a guy smoking a cigarette in the hardware.
See you real soon.
Yeah, I'll see you soon. I just started busting out laughing when he said that.
Did you know that was a William Sadler improv?
Was it?
Yep.
Really?
Wow, that was great.
He goes, hey, Hugh, come here. He goes, here, can somebody get this guy a cigarette or something or whatever? And he goes, yeah, just run it, roll or whatever, and I'm going to say this and da-da-da. And he's like, all right, do it. So they did the scene. It's like, yeah, see you real soon.
You could tell that he had a lot of fun with that role. You could tell.
Well, he created that role on his own. There's actually a clip on YouTube from where he actually did the role the first time. Let me see if I can find it here.
That'd be great. Yeah, he how sometimes you can tell that an actor is really enjoying it, and sometimes you can tell they're just kind of going through the motions. You could tell that he was really having a good time with it.
Yeah,
this is like 3 minutes long, but yeah.
I liked his portrayal of Death in the first one and the second one. I just really like how
I was Wild Stallions.
I like his personifications and the humor that he uses.
I don't know how much of this you guys want to watch, but here's the first time he ever did it. It was on some like Saturday Night Live show, but not Saturday Night Live. I can't remember the name of it, but
Oh, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I don't hear anything either. But that's all right.
Did I forget to add? Did I boomer it?
Oh, yeah. I boomer constantly.
God damn it. I knew I'd fuck something up. My dog's sitting here wanting to go out. She doesn't need to go out. She can wait. There we go.
After we look at this, we can take a music break and you can
let
her out real quick.
Yeah. All right.
I love doggos.
There we go.
Is this apartment number 9, S. Solomons?
Sure. Are you the plumber?
No, I am Death.
Well, I'm Sally. Come on in. Hey, you into aerobics?
No, I'm Death. I've come to take you.
Okay.
No, I mean I have come to take you away.
Oh, sure. I'll pack some things.
Don't I scare you? Aren't you afraid just a little bit?
Are you kidding? With that weirdo makeup?
It's not makeup. I am naturally pale. I have been dead for 1,000 centuries.
Wait a minute. Can I fix you a drink?
I have no thirst.
Pickle sandwich?
How dare you? I am the most awesome and terrifying figure in mankind's experience. And you dare to offer me a pickle sandwich.
Awesome. Did you see Jack Nicholson in the Playgirl Centerfold? He made the staple sit up.
I am not interested in Jack Nicholson. Yet.
That's your mistake. Hey, listen, think positive.
Think positive. Don't be ridiculous. I am Death. You find me ridiculous, don't you?
Listen, let's just go, shall we?
No, wait a minute. I want you to tell me what is basically wrong with me.
Yes, that's your problem. Let's go, shall we?
No, I don't want to go yet. I want you to tell me why I am not happy.
It probably had something to do with your mother.
I had no mother.
Died before you were born.
Nobody died before I was born. I am Death. I walk into a room and people scream.
Okay, yes, I'm going to tell you.
What?
Basically, you're too negative. You need a fresh approach. Forget all this death crap. Come bouncing in and say, hard there. The bad news is it's a lousy life. The good news is it's over, and you're dead.
You're making fun of me.
You were such a big baby.
I am not.
You are. Hey, listen. Take me away.
No.
No.
No, I am going on my own. Who wants you anyway? Next time that you get seasick or eat some bad chicken salad and you say, boy, I wish I was dead. Forget it.
He totally had the character already.
Grandpa,
Yeah, he did.
you can come out now.
Oh, shit.
That was cool.
It was very cool.
All right. Let's see here. Let's see.
Don't patronize me. Reaping burns lots of calories.
All right. Pearl in the Moonlight. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right.
I think I had my whiskey at just the right time in the night because I'm starting to sober up enough to where I will be productive tomorrow.
All right, let's see here. Click audio. All right. Baby, it's a crazy world like V for Vendetta, cats and dogs. Time to wake up, no more fake opaque remake B-movies. I love that transition to that. Don't want fake picture shows. The clock's ticking backwards. Get up, get going, seal the deal with a kiss. Wish it was a popcorn world, a pearl in the moonlight. Turn, turn, turn in a twirl, sing it away. Can you see the trees for the forest? Wish it was popcorn world. Go looking for a time. Others looking for the man in the moon. Get the man on the moon. Bet the man likes popcorn. Baby, it's a crazy world like V for Vendetta, cats and dogs. Time to wake up, no more fake, opaque remake movies. Don't want fake picture shows. The clock is ticking backwards. Give it up, get going, seal the deal with a kiss. Wish it was a popcorn world, pearl in the moonlight. Turn, turn in a twirl, sing it away. Can you see the trees for the forest? Wish it was a popcorn world. Go looking for a time. Others looking for the man in the moon. Get the man on the moon. Bet the man on the moon likes popcorn too. Baby, it's a crazy world like V for Vendetta, cats and dogs. Time to wake up, no more fake opaque remake movies. Don't want a fake picture show. The clock's ticking backwards. Get up, get going. Seal the deal with a kiss. Wish it was a popcorn world, a pearl in the moonlight. Turn, turn, turn in a twirl. Can you see the forest for the trees? I heard the tale, hard to believe. I rearrange it sometimes. I heard the tale, that story man's tale. heard the tale, hard to believe, I heard the tale. Story man's tale. I started looking for deeper meaning. Cats and rats. Where's the glory? I heard the story straight from the story man who tells the tale. Who tells the tale? Sometimes you have to lose yourself before you're found. It's so profound. The tale that's always around you. You have to lose yourself. It's so profound. The sound I found, I did hear. It's clear to me. I had to test the sound. It's so profound. It's been made clear to me. The sound from the story man I found it was given before you understand. Before you found sound I did hear. So I heard the sound, it's so profound. It was made clear to me. I hear the sound, it's clear. It's clear to me the story man knows he has a plan. Play the strings from afar, the story man says. Like waterfalls, sometimes you have to lose yourself before you're found. Where's the glory? I heard a story straight from the story man who tells the tale. I hear the tale, I heard, hard to believe, I hear the tale. Where's the glory? I heard the story straight from the story man who tells the tale. Sometimes you have to lose yourself before you're found. It's so profound. Now, this song here was very, very, very hard song. This song, the first time that I had the first draft of it, song-wise, singing-wise, took 8 hours. And then it wasn't good. So it took another 6 hours. And still I wasn't happy with it. So another 6 hours. So this song took a week. It literally did it. It took a week. And after I was finally done with it, 8 days later, and probably maybe 4 days out of that 8, no sleep. And yeah, this was the result. There's a storm coming, the north wind is blowing, clouds are forming, thunder's on its way, time's running backwards, what's flying in the light? Lightning and eagles dancing in the sky, dodging and diving on the wind, travel through my eye, winds are gathering, it's time to call a gathering. There's a storm coming, the north wind is blowing, clouds are forming, thunder's on its way, time's running backwards, what's flying in the light? Lightning and eagles dancing in the sky, dodging and diving on the wind, travel through my eye, winds are gathering, it's time to call a gathering. There's a storm coming, the wind is blowing, clouds are forming, it's on its way. Time running backward, what's flying in the light? Lightning and eagles dancing on the sky, dodging and diving on the wind. Travel through my eye, winds are gathering. It's time to call gathering. There's a storm coming, the north wind is blowing, clouds are forming, thunder's on its way, time's running backwards, what's flying in the light, lightning and eagles dancing in the sky, dodging and diving on the wind, travel through my eye, winds are gathering, it's time to call a gathering. There's a storm coming, the north wind is blowing, its way. Time's running backwards, what's flying in the light? Lightning and eagles dancing in the sky. Dodging and diving on the wind. Travel through my eye, winds are gathering. It's time to call a gathering. There's a storm coming, the north wind is blowing. Clouds are forming, thunder's on its way. Time's running backwards, what's flying in the light? Lightning and eagles dancing in the sky. Dodging and diving on the wind.
Yeah, that song was that was difficult. Yeah, and basically, that song was based off an experience that I had. I think it was 1997. I was going up to Alpine Valley to see. It was that back then. It was called the Further Festival, and a bunch of different bands would play. And before, I believe it was Rat Dog that played that year. And there was all kinds of storming weather surrounding Alpine Valley, but yet it was kind of just overcast. But it was like raining, lightning, but none of it was really touching the parking lot, and none of it was really touching the venue. And Alpine Valley is a huge place, and there was eagles flying around, a lot of them, and me and my friends are walking around just seeing all this that was going on, and we were pretty amazed by it all. And that song's kind of it's about that moment. That's a hell of a thing, because most Grateful Dead concerts or anything related to it or connected to it was rain or shine when they were outdoor theaters. So if you're in the lawn seating, you're gonna go out there. Some outdoor places don't have a band shell. Some do, some don't. And in lawn seating, if it's gonna rain, you're gonna get wet. And a lot of those concerts were rain or shine. And a lot of fun, not to mention. Kind of weird experiences you got at concerts, Wes?
Believe it or not, I've actually not been to one yet. I had a lot of social anxiety for a really long time. I couldn't be around crowds until fairly recently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of people go through that.
Yeah, I had to go do a deep dive on that stuff, but about 10 years or so ago, I got over it.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd be comfortable in a big crowd like a concert, especially when there's lots of people, especially events where, there's 80,000 people outside of it and there's probably about 30,000 people in the concert.
I think I'd probably be okay now, but I'd probably feel more comfortable with a really crappy seat very far away.
Because, some of them stadiums, they can hold between 20 and 30,000 people. And they don't fill the whole stadium, because a lot of times you'll see a section behind the where the band sets up at, where nobody really sits at.
Yeah. Yep.
And you don't want to sit back there anyway.
Behind him? No. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see it.
And I've been to Soldier Field before they tore it down and rebuilt it a few times. And I've been to Alpine Valley, really. They did something. There used to be an oak tree in the center of the lawn seating of Alpine Valley. It's basically surrounded by a ski resort. It's kind of hilly in Wisconsin. It's in East Troy, Wisconsin. And beautiful place. But what they did is they added more dirt and they made everything steeper. When they added more dirt, it made the hill bigger in the lawn seating. And what it did basically is it made because when I first went there, the first times I've been there, you could actually stand without it actually hurting your ankles by standing on a hill. It wasn't it was a shallow hill, and you were able to stand, in lawn seating, and it didn't really affect your ankles too much. But they changed it so much that it was kind of steep, and they did it just so they could fit more people into the lawn seating. And I think that kind of removes from the quality of the experience at that particular venue.
That sucks.
Yeah. And God forbid it be rainy and all that and be muddy. Oh, boy. Yeah, that wasn't a good idea for them to do that. Yeah. Tom back yet?
I don't know.
I've been here.
Oh, okay. So yeah, those are some of my experiences. Some of the songs that I do are from things I've experienced. I've seen some pretty amazing things. Pretty what you considered a pretty miraculous coincidence. That seemed to experience a lot of those, and a lot of them happened around Grateful Dead concerts or related stuff like that. Pretty interesting. And yes, it was most excellent, RR. Yes, it was. And you think back, it's like that was over 20 years ago. A lot of this stuff happened. 97. Jerry passed away in 95. And what was really weird is back in 95, after Jerry had passed away, and I had hair down to my ass, and I pretty much almost always wore tie-dyes, except when I was back home. I didn't very often wear tie-dyes because you'd get harassed if you wore tie-dye, and so I normally just wore pocket tees and all that, and so I only wore tie-dyes when I went to concerts, because I did live in northwestern Indiana. It's one of the most it's a good place to get harassed if you look like the hippie type or something in some places. But yeah, fun times going to not just concerts. A lot of times there was festivals and stuff like that. A lot of cool craft stuff you run across in festivals.
Oh. Interesting.
And I've got to see a lot of it across the country. Not a lot of not a lot of people get to do that. I've had some pretty cool experiences. Almost died in Utah, not a mountain.
Well, I was supposed to see my first concert this year, but it got canceled because of the pink elephant.
Man, that damn pink elephant stepping on everyone's toes.
Yeah.
Where's Quinn the Eskimo when you need him?
Yeah. I would have scratched a couple of them off because I was going to see Tool at Golden One Arena, Golden One Center. That's what they call it. So I've been wanting to go to the Golden One Center because it has this very cool indoor-outdoor concept where they roll up. It's an arena, but it has these huge, gigantic, ginormous, like aircraft bay hangar windows that roll up.
Oh, wow.
Hold up. Yeah, it's supposed to be really cool. And it kind of faces towards the northwest, so you get a little bit of sunset peeking through there. Seemed like it would have been a good time, but oh well. Next time, I guess, whenever the pink elephant gets done with its march.
Yeah. Need to get some special fumigation for the pestilence of the pink elephant, and just make it go away, and maybe a fire hose or something, Who knows?
Pink elephant could be an illusion.
Yeah, our Quinn the Eskimo. Yep. Everybody jumps for joy when Quinn the Eskimo comes around. So I'm told. So yeah, back to the movie. Bogus Journey, I would give it 8.5, maybe a 9. The third one, I really, really liked how they did not sexualize the daughters. They were just teenage kids, and you could see that they were just two kids wanting to have fun, wanting to kick ass. Girls, yes, they were daughters, but I liked that aspect. I liked the healthy relationship with father and daughter and all that stuff. The daughters looked up to their dads. The healthy relationship between wives, even though, just like everyone has problems. They work through their problems. I kind of like that about it, and it was, I don't know, I thought it was positive. You don't see a lot of positive. And the some of the music aspects of it, I wasn't real crazy about, but it's not horrible. I wouldn't say that's a blemish necessarily, but some people might. Overall, I would probably give it maybe a 7.
So yeah, Bogus Journey for me, it's going to be probably a 7.5 to an 8, somewhere in that range. And I think the third one's probably going to be a 7 to a 7.5 for me. Well, I don't know. Bogus Journey, maybe it's close. Maybe I'm going to say it's an 8. It's a great film. There's a lot of like little artistic flourishes, look with the scene transitions that I really appreciated. Also, that I don't think appreciated or noticed the first time around. It was a good time. It was a fun movie. It had a great soundtrack. I don't remember the soundtrack being as good as it was. Really amazing soundtrack. Really liked it a lot. For that transitional time in the early 90s where you're going from hair metal to grunge.
Right.
It's of its time, and that's very cool because it connects me to the emotions that I had. That was 91. I was what was I? I was like a freshman in high school, I believe.
Plus, don't forget there was a resurgence in the Grateful Dead. They were a touring powerhouse. They had the record for most concerts attended. And that was another thing that was happening alongside the same things with this, rock and roll and all that stuff. It was still a staple. People were still going to see him.
Yeah, I remember that in high school, the neo hippies. Yep.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Yeah, I remember. It's just weird that some of the random shit that you think about when you're thinking back on that time.
Yeah.
I remember some of the neo hippies that, like, one of the dudes pulled out with some whippets, and they were getting high on whippets, and back behind the shop building. It's just like this random.
That's hippie crack.
Nitrous. Yeah, nitrous oxide. That's what it was. Yeah. So it's just like weird, the random shit that you remember when you think. I remember the cafeteria just like always had ants crawling all over the window, and like the lunch lady had the nastiest teeth ever. And so by the time you got up there, I mean, the food wasn't even good to begin with. You'd totally lose your appetite by the time you got up to the lunch window because of all like this lady with the really bad teeth would spray this ant spray on the window right before you came up there to eat the food. And it's just like these disgusting freezer burned chicken nuggets and like fucking canned vegetables. I don't know how they can serve that slop to people.
Well, I think I was fortunate when in middle school and high school, the food wasn't that bad. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. You still got to have your rectangle of pizza, and it wasn't that bad. The tacos, they weren't that, but they're okay. But it wasn't horrible, but it was still school food.
Well, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Taco Bell was trying to lobby to get into the school to sell tacos, and all the parents got upset and they blocked Taco Bell. And so eventually, I think by senior year, they finally let Taco Bell set up a little booth. And let me tell you something. That Taco Bell line wrapped around the entire quad all the way back there. Nobody was standing in line to get the school food after that. It's like. And they're like, oh, Taco Bell is so unhealthy. I'm like, have you seen some of the shit coming out of that cafeteria? Ugh. Taco Bell was way better.
It's true.
And it was a limited menu. All they had were bean burritos and crunchy shelled tacos. Oh, did we lose Tom?
We lost Tom.
Oh, shoot. But yeah,
Must
I
love
don't know.
internet. But yeah, I will tell you what I did dislike about Face the Music. I did not really care for, I guess it was Rufus's wife, and it looked like the people that were floating there in the future, it looked like the majority of them, well, it was mostly women, and there was a couple dudes on the side. And
I
I didn't care for her demeanor, and I don't like that actress to begin with, because she played Two and a Half Men, Charlie's mom in Two and a Half Men, and
it's
I
been so
didn't,
long since I've seen it.
yeah, I didn't care for her then too much. I really don't care for her now.
I
It's a
agree.
preference.
Exactly what you mentioned. That's what I had a problem with. If I did have a problem with the movie, one thing that I thought about when we were talking about it that I didn't notice at the time until really just now was that she mentioned that Bill and Ted had to die, and Bill and Ted did die. So she ultimately ended up being partially right.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
don't know.
a
I thought they could have done her part differently. I think there could have been. I don't know. It seemed like not very nice toward Rufus. Like,
She
you
seems
know,
slightly cuntish.
yeah. And I think it could have been less that and more of what the future was in the first two Bill and Ted movies. You know.
Yeah, it was a little bit more. Wasn't leaning too heavy into that. Kind of Hillary Clinton-esque version of matriarchy, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah. I didn't.
I think
Hey,
that
welcome back.
Sorry about that. I got storms up in here.
happens. Yeah, I don't think Rufus would have married somebody that was that much of a ball buster.
No. He would have married someone tough and smart. You know, there's East Coast style busting your balls, and then there's just being an ass. You know, I understand East Coast style busting your balls. I've experienced it. If they're busting your balls, it means they like you and they're seeing how tough you are, and they're doing it because they like you. If they didn't like you, they wouldn't be busting your balls at all. And one thing to write a story where the person's a ball buster. It's another thing where I didn't care for it. It left a bad taste in my mouth, I guess you could say. I think it could have been done better. It could have been more positive. It's supposed to be the future, you know, where everything glitters and shines, and Bill and Ted were their music is what the future was based off of. And I thought they could have done something different. Oh, we lost Wes now. Weird things on the internet going on these days, eh?
No, I just went out and back in too.
Yeah, and Wes just blinked out. Oh, I use one of those a VPN. It's a basic one, you know, but it works. It works. Did you notice that in the yard there's a little round little thing in the corner now? I have never noticed that.
In the what?
And when you're in the yard in the command seat, there's a little round thing that floats. It's for the 3 dots. It's round. You put the mouse toward it, it becomes 3 dots. I've never noticed that. But yeah. So what was it? Was there any parts in the third movie that you didn't like, Tom?
There we go. I'm back. All right. Besides Christian Shaw, I didn't think Samara Weaving did as good a job as Lundy Payne, the other chick. But otherwise, they were fine. I hate that one stupid line.
Looks like it's
That-
fine for internet problems.
Yeah, I know, right? Mine
Which
keeps
line?
going in and out too. Where it's you all along. It was you. We're here to back you up. It should have been you're part of the band too. Instead, that would have made more sense.
Right. That would.
I wish they would have put some of the money towards making the backgrounds a little bit more cartoony instead of trying to make them realistic instead, because now they're just stoic and empty in a lot of spaces, especially in the future. I didn't mind Rufus's wife. I can't remember the actress's name, but she's a pretty prominent actress, and I thought she did all right.
She played the mother of Charlie in 2.5
That's
Men.
right. Yeah.
Plus, there was some early on stuff that she did that she's pretty well known for. And I probably like her early stuff more than...
Right.
Because I just see old bitchy angry mom every time I see her. And I'm biased that way a little bit, and so I'll admit that. I don't care for the actress too much.
Outside of that, just some of the music could have been nicer to see some other music and stuff in it that wasn't such independent stuff, but I don't know. Overall, I mean, like I said, it could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Yep.
Is it exactly what I'd have done necessarily? Probably not. But I mean, I thought it was pretty clever. I couldn't have expected much more than I got out of it. Really, I'm hard pressed to really think of anything else I didn't really care for in it.
Well, I really liked the I liked the daughters. I thought they were pretty dynamic. They were funny, and
Right now, would I watch
thought, yeah,
would I watch a spin-off movie or something with them by themselves? Though probably not.
Yeah, but I had the feeling that in a lot of ways the story was seen through the eyes of Bill and Ted's daughters. It felt like the story was seen through the eyes of Bill and Ted's daughters. If I think maybe that's what they were trying to go for, get that effect. Because I had that feeling after watching the movie. I've watched it 3 times now, and I got the feeling that the story was seen through the daughter's eyes.
Well, yeah, kind of. They start off the narration and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know if that was something that was always a part of it or not, because I know Ed said they struggled to find a place to start with and end in the movie, and every one of the movies has had to be reshot as far as the ending goes. So,
Right.
I'd be interested. I'm gonna when I get to talk to him again, I'm gonna try and see if I can get my hands on some of the alternate scripts and stuff, just to kind of get an idea of what was and things like that.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But I have a stepdaughter, so I'm a little nostalgic. I like the relationship between the dads and the daughters, and
yeah, I didn't mind that stuff. I like that, and I like
I
the
like that.
aspects of it.
I like that part of the story. It spoke to me because I have a stepdaughter, and my stepdaughter thinks that me making songs and all that is cool. So my stepdaughter told me that was cool. You know how often a 15-year-old tells her dad they're cool?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that was a big part of this, and that's another reason why I mean, people have called me a simp, a shill, whatever for this movie, but I'll tell you, I'm hard pressed to find the woke in this. And if they tried to make this movie woke, they did a shitty job. Between Rufus's ex-wife or widow being wrong about, him being wrong, or, whether it's the wives and the daughters still believing in their, Bill and Ted, and the daughters looking up to their fathers and not being better than their fathers, things like that. I mean, there's so much that they could have done that this could have went into that woke territory, and I just don't see it. And I mean, I don't even really see it a little bit. I mean, a lot of people are, oh, well, there's a little bit of it here. Outside of that line, though, and even with that line, would really people care that much? I wonder if this was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
before.
It's a good question. It might not even have been a thought 10 years ago. But is it my favorite? Probably not.
No.
Well,
I mean,
but,
it's
No, really.
You're cutting
Say
out
again,
there,
Wes.
Wes. What'd you say?
I'm using my hotspot because my internet seems to be fully down right now. I was saying it didn't seem especially woke to me. Just really, you know, the female council mostly, and Rufus's wife.
Well, even her, like I said, she's one of the aspects that
still
makes it. Yeah, we could hear you. I don't know if you can hear me though, but that's where I was saying that's one of the aspects
Yeah,
where
I
if
can
they were
hear you.
trying to make it woke, they did a shitty job because she's wrong. And if this was a woke movie, then she would have been the one who was right all along. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, they kind of made her right because she said that Bill and Ted had to die, and Bill and Ted did die. But I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I bet. But
there's
they were
some
both
people
right.
who have tried to use that, and I get their logic. And I'm not saying you're trying to say that, Wes. But the whole thing is, if that's the case, then why would Death have to bring them back? I mean, there's a part of it that you could say, yeah, they had to die to go get Death, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Part of that's possibly true. But she says, no, it's not working. Nothing is working. So, like, she's wrong. And I think she even kind of tells, in that scene with Kelly where she's like, your father would have been proud of you. I think that's kind of saying everything right there is like, I may have lost little faith in your father, but you didn't. You know what I mean? And you were there and you were right. And, that was kind of that poignant moment of that, I think.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I think it's okay for her and Rufus to both be right. I didn't even think about, that until, her saying they had to die and then them dying until just a few minutes ago. I was like, wait a second, they did die. So, but they did come back also. So,
right.
Well, that's the thing, and that's kind of the whole thing with, like I always said, with Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, which I think is the reason why, besides the fact that Death just probably sucks at playing games, and he's always been able to, it's the whole joke is he always plays you in chess, but Bill and Ted choose, kid games, but no matter what he tries, he can't beat them is because they're not meant to die, because they're the chosen ones. I think that's the way I always interpreted it. Is no matter what that he could never beat him. It just wasn't going to happen, kind of thing.
You could say it wasn't in the cards.
Exactly.
Yeah. Basically, the scene with Rufus's wife. I really wish they would have probably done that a little different. And I'll admit. I may be biased because I really don't care for that actress. I find her. I've found the characters that she's played very irritating and annoying.
Oh, and that's a very fair, observation or feeling or opinion or however you want to put it.
So my liking the movie may be biased by that a little bit.
I mean, I think in the first viewing, she came off a bit more abrasive, probably because of the same thing, like you were saying. Like I didn't quite connect it the first time, but her being the actress from 2.5 Men in the role she plays there, and it's kind of it's the mother role. Same thing here. Yeah. The second time through, it felt more like she was playing it as she's just trying to do the right thing. And
not to take any chops away from her, she is a great actress. There's no question about that.
Right. So I mean, I don't think she was meaning to play it in the way you were seeing it, and I don't want to sit here and accuse you of projecting or anything like that. But that could be.
I could be. Absolutely.
Right. I'm saying but again, she does come off abrasive in a lot of her scenes. So you even have the scene where Kelly's like, where she kind of mocks her when she's like, when you're the great leader, then you'll know what to do, or you'll see what I mean, or whatever she says the line, and then Kelly comes like, oh, can't believe you just said great leader. That whole thing, like, yeah. Which is also great, because it kind of you almost assume that at some point Rufus was probably the great leader before he died, too, for a while. You know what I mean? Like, they all ascend to that place, because it obviously changes throughout time who the most important people in the world are. That's what they were credited as in the first movie.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought in Excellent Adventure, the great leader was also played by the same actor that played.
I gotta close the window real quick.
That played the teacher that told him he was going to fail them, right?
The great leader? No, it was 2 different actors.
Oh shit! Oops. Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of both of them. But the guy who is the great leader in the future is the drummer for the E Street Band. God, I can't think of his name.
I'm trying to think who the teacher played, because the teacher was in something else that I seem to remember. What was that?
Oh, the teacher? Yeah, he's been in a lot of shit. Let me see. I'm bringing up the IMDb because I can't remember anybody's name. Let's see here. Mr. Ryan is Bernie Casey. That's what I thought his name was. I was going to say that too. He's in Revenge of the Nerds and stuff like that.
That's right. He was the Lambda representative.
Yeah. And then the guy in the future, though, that is Clarence Clemens, who also appeared in Blues Brothers 2000, evidently, and Porky's Revenge on the soundtrack, anyway.
Clarence Clemens.
He was a drummer for the E Street Band.
Well, shoot.
Or a saxophone player.
Let me see.
Sax player, looks like. Sorry.
Something weird is happening with my internet right now. I'm looking at my router. It's going through all kinds of...
Yeah, mine was too just a little bit ago here too. But I'm dealing with storms here, so.
Well, this time on the West Coast, this time of night, the routers go through some kind of weird cycle.
Yeah.
It's like there's a ping sent out, and they go through this weird cycle.
Okay, and then one of the other most important guys is a member of the Tubes.
Oh, Vince Welnick was part of the Tubes.
But this is Fee Waybill was one of them. And then Martha Davis is the other most important one. And he is also a singer. But it looks like he must just be his own... Or he's a songwriter. So yeah, I didn't know that all three of them were musicians.
Oh, wow.
Cool. That I just learned. Did not know that. Very interesting.
Oh, you know they did they always have Ted's name listed as Theodore?
Ted Theodore Logan, probably.
Yeah.
That's what he calls himself. Ted Theodore Logan.
Let's see.
Bill S. Preston, Esquire. Ooh, did you hear that thunder?
Ooh, yeah.
Whoa. God damn.
I heard it the first time. I was like, oh, shit.
Storm.
Thunderstorms in Washington State are rare.
Oh, and by the way, I'm sure I don't know if you guys touched on this at all, but the writers have cameos in every one of the movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're always stupid and ugly. In the first movie, they were stupid and ugly waiter. They're the Ziggy Zig guys. Ziggy Zig, Ziggy Zig.
Oh,
those
really?
guys.
Now,
Yeah.
in the second one, were they the two guys
Ziggy
on the
Piggy.
couch, and then
They're the two guys in the seance and
It's
on the
ice cream
couch.
scene.
Yep. And then I think they're ugly party guest and stupid party guest. And then did you guys pick them out in the third film?
No.
They actually
You see,
have a couple lines.
There's another thing about these movies, and I'm sure it's going to be the same for this movie.
Okay, well, I'll tell you who they played in this one. They played Ugly Demon and Stupid Demon. Is that a robot in hell? Yeah, that's a robot in hell. Those guys. That's the original Bill and Ted.
Nice.
I love that bit too. Is that a robot in hell? Yeah, it's definitely a robot in hell. You're a somehow dead robot who's sorry. He bothered me the first time, but the second time through, like, I don't know what it clicked with me, but he was like my favorite character the second time through. I don't know why. I have a name, Dennis McHale McCoy.
I think Face the Music I think it will age well. because I think there's going to be things that I'm going to watch it again. I'm like, I didn't notice that before. It's like, oh, I didn't notice that either. Because the same thing with the first two movies, I've noticed things that I haven't noticed before. It happens with every rewatch.
Boy, there's a lot in the second movie I missed the other times I watched it. Couldn't believe it.
I was kind of disappointed the first time I saw the second movie because I was expecting the other version because the comic book has one of the alternate endings and stuff, and so I think does the novel and the cards and stuff. Because I didn't get to see it till it came out on video. I was so pissed at my cousins because I was going to go see it in theaters, and my cousins were down for the weekend when it happened to be showing in our local theater, and they already saw it, and they're like, "It sucks." I'm like, "So I still want to go see it." And they went and we didn't go. I was pissed. I was so pissed, and I still tell them to this day every time. It's like, you motherfuckers, I didn't get to go see Bill and Ted in the theater because of you. Oh, you have no idea how pissed I was. Still hold a grudge. 30 years later.
Yeah, I can't recall any of my cousins or friends making me miss seeing a movie in the theater. I can't recall that.
Well, it's double the piss off. Like, this was like the crowning moment because these were the same cousins that whenever they would come over, because they live far enough away, so they'd only come around during like Labor Day and Thanksgiving and Christmas and shit like that. And we'd always usually rent movies, but it just so happened to be that Bill and Ted was in the theaters, and my parents made me wait to go see it until my cousins showed up so they could go with us, and then they decided they didn't want to go, so hence I didn't get to go. But prior to this, every time we get to rent a movie, it was always I wanted to get Gremlins or something like that, and they always wanted Pete's Dragon or something like that. And it would piss me off because they would always win out because they didn't want to watch Gremlins. You know, or some shit like that, you know? It was always they won out. And it was just like, God damn it. I just once want my way, you know?
I got 38 cousins.
The only cool thing they ever showed me was Critters. Because they're like, oh, Critters is better anyway. If you like Gremlins so much, you'll like Critters. And that was the one time. That and, you know, then after I got a little older, they kind of got cooler because then we'd have Nightmare on Elm Street marathons. But, oh, by the way, these are two girls. That's the other part I guess I left out. So that was kind of the other problem. So it was like,
Man,
yeah.
I can tell you this. I can't count how many times girl cousins got us boys in trouble. I cannot tell you how many times.
I love Pete's Dragon too, just as much as the Ness person. But when that's all you ever, you've seen it a million times as a kid, and you want to see Gremlins. You know?
Yeah, my brother and I were the oldest grandkids, so my cousins and I were separated in age, so we never really did anything with them.
That's actually the second Critters Angeles, but yeah, I like that one too. What in the hell was in you?
Yeah. You ever notice sometimes that the zoom on your browser just doesn't exactly work exactly the way you would like it
It
to?
never works right for me. Oddly enough, Critters 1 and Bill and Ted 1 have the same director.
Oh.
SupremeHeretic.
I know that.
Yeah, and the second Bill and Ted had a first-time director. I can't remember his name. It's Pete something. And then the guy who directed Galaxy Quest, Dean Parasot, directed the third one. So, but they've had the same writers through all three of them. They've never had rewrites. They've never had another writer come in and touch shit. So that's where another thing with the girls thing doesn't bother me so much. Like, if it was like if they actually had it on screen and like some other writers came in and changed it, then it'd be a different story. You know what I mean? Like if they literally said, "Here's our sons," which they don't. They just say, "Here's little Bill and here's little Ted." That's all they say. You know, so it's like I can get behind that. But if it was like some brand new writers coming in and just deciding they're gonna fucking shit all over the originals, that'd be a different story. So, I mean, hey, there's not much you can in many series where you can say the original creators stuck through from the beginning to the end. So,
Nothing's ever been exactly perfect.
Not only that, Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves are producers on the last one. So, and Alex Winter is an actual producer, not just an executive. Because like most of the cast is listed as an executive producer, but that's just because they gave their paychecks back into the movie. So they'll make money if the movie makes money. So, but Alex Winter was a straight up producer on this one. So.
Yeah, he looked like he was having a good time.
Yeah, they were having fun. I like that. It's basically a fun movie.
Yeah, it was made out of love. It wasn't made. I mean, sure, they were made to make. All movies are made to make money. Don't get me wrong, but they don't tell me they went in there expecting to make hundreds of millions of dollars. So anybody who even says this is some kind of like cash in.
Do we know how much money they've made?
Not particularly. We just know the box office from the theaters, which has only been $1 million last weekend.
Their budget was $25 million.
20 to 25 million is the estimated budget. Yeah, I heard 20 million originally, and then somebody reposted it as 25. That might be with all the advertising. That could be.
Okay, they have grossed 400,000.
Ouch.
From 1,007 theaters in its first.
That's just
day.
the theatrical, but it's been number one for the last 2 weeks on all the download.
And it went on the debut to 1.1 million.
Number 1 and 2 in most
finishing
places. But yeah,
third at the box office. I suppose that's not too bad considering the way things are right now.
And it's not in any major chains. That's the other thing. Like none of the major chains would take it because it's streaming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's only showing in drive-ins and independent theaters. So if it's like AMC, they'll flat out tell you they're not carrying it because it's on demand. So my buddy even called the theater, and that's what they told him.
Oh, wow. Oh, and I do have a drive-in near me. Might be able to go. I think it's worthy of going to the drive-in to see it.
I was kind of upset because there is this. It's not local; it's like an hour away. But there's this theater that's an independently owned theater, and they did not get it, and I don't know why. I'd like to ask the owner why. And if he says, "Oh, it's because it's on demand," it's like, you dumb shits, you just fucked yourselves.
It's like you're gonna make money,
right? What else are you gonna do? You're not making money on anything else right now until Tenet came out. So, I think it's doing really well. I think it is. I think we'll find out in the end. I wouldn't be surprised if it's maybe made its money back already. Because you stop and think about how many people are downloading it at $25 a pop, or I mean,
it's like $24.99, right?
Yeah,
yeah, I paid the $25 for it.
So I mean, really, if you stop and think about it, and then the number 2 spot in most places, if not 3 or 4, is the trilogy, so that also counts. So I mean, they're probably doing pretty well. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out pretty good in the end for them.
Well, I hope they come out with a box set, because I'm probably interested in getting the box set.
Yeah, I hope they come up with a 4K box set, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that trilogy was an option.
Yeah, that didn't come out till after the fact. I was kind of pissed because Voodoo actually had them in 4K, and I don't have Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey in 4K. I mean, I regret the purchase afterwards. I bought it by itself, besides pre-ordering Face the Music. But then my son wanted them, so I bought him the trilogy. But yeah, I was like, oh shit, because I could have got it. Could have basically got the both movies for the price that I paid. Just for the one, almost. But no, and then Bogus Journey looks like shit in 4K. That's what I was saying earlier. Is I don't think they have the original negatives. I think they're missing. So, and I heard Alex Winters. I brought this up, but Alex Winters supposedly on the search out for Bogus Journey's original negatives. So maybe they have the original negatives for the first film, but they definitely don't have them for the second film because they couldn't find any of the deleted scenes for the special edition box set they released a couple of years back.
Wonder what happened to the cellulose.
Well, you had 2 different companies or 3 different companies involved that went bankrupt over time. So they're probably sitting in somebody's garage somewhere, hopefully. That's my guess.
Something before the bankruptcy.
My think is, whoever got all that shit after the bankruptcy, and they're probably dead. So it's probably sitting in their heirs' attic or garage, hopefully, or a storage shed somewhere.
Hopefully.
Because otherwise they're gone, and we're fucked. Because most Blu-rays and DVDs to this point have been made off of answer prints. This recent years when they've been doing this 4K restoration of a lot of stuff is the first time they've actually gone back to a lot of original negatives. Because they don't really want to fuck with the negative.
Right, they're fragile.
Well, yeah, if something happens to it, it's gone forever, and sometimes the process they have to use to restore the negative, it's a one-shot deal. Because they have to run it through a special chemical sometimes, like that's what happened to Star Wars. That's where Lucas is only half lying when he says that the original version doesn't exist. It doesn't technically exist, but everybody says he's full of shit that the original shots don't exist because he had to scan them all to be able to do the special edition. Because when they did the special edition, it was one of the first times I think they did a high-res scan like that. But they had to send the film stock they used at that time had gone green. So like it lost all the blue and the red color or whatever out of the film it just deteriorated.
Right.
So they had to run it through a special dip, and then they had a one shot after running it through that dip to scan it, the original negative or whatever. So then they scanned the original negative into really high res files back then, and so they've been able to use them since, and that's why that's one of the few movies with a lot of special CGI effects that's been able to do a 4K because Lucas kind of thought ahead on that.
Oh, smart.
So, like he made sure that the additions he did a couple of years back before he even sold the franchise were mastered in 4K, and those are the ones we have on Blu-ray right now. So.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean it's a real tedious process. They've been just doing it with like recently with like Hitchcock's films and Kubrick's films. A couple other people have been gone back and gotten their movies, and they got to reconstruct the whole movie. So it's not just like a little, like just slapping shit together kind of deal. They go, and that's where they've been finding a lot of these extra cuts and shit. Like that's where I believe this. They found some extra scenes for Ghostbusters recently because they went back to the original negatives. And on the recent Blu-ray, they threw on some more deleted scenes that they hadn't found before. And they found the original reel for the real Ghostbusters, too, in the same lot of shit that was just packed away in the Columbia fucking lot somewhere in the back of the warehouse. And the same thing with Superman. That's how they did the Donner cut. They pulled out all the negatives to do the remasters, and yeah, they found all the cut scenes. So hopefully if they get lucky, they'll find all the shit together. So.
Oh, man, one really, really hopes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Because I like director's cuts and unrated cuts. Sometimes those are really interesting.
Psycho was another one they just found the original print for, I think, too. Because there was actually cuts made to that movie years ago. And same thing with that's where Kubrick, they found his original scene that was cut from Spartacus because they said it was too homosexual. So they cut it back into the newer versions.
Yeah.
We had some music.
Yeah. It's funny that we're talking about film and cellulose. One of the songs.
Yeah, Sporkin, we're still live. I thought I was doing a show on your thing tonight. Never heard back from you, buddy. What the fuck?
Yeah, the Donner cut's interesting because hey Scott, the film, a lot of it that takes they intersperse into Superman 2, from his from his audition.
They had to do one scene. The one scene, yeah. Because they never got a chance to film it, yeah.
And so he looks totally different. This before he bulked up, and then he has
different glasses on, and it's two different. I think it's two different. It's taken from two different screen tests from Margot Kidder's and another actress's. Or it was actually Christopher Reeve's original screen test, and then Margot Kidder's screen test. But I can't remember the original actress he played against in the original one. It's on the original DVDs, though. The actual screen tests are the full screen tests. So you can probably find them on YouTube if you type it in.
Huh. Check it out.
Yeah. The song Cellulose Gods and Heroes is sort of about film, movies, a little bit of everything. Because, film's made from cellulose. It was a clever wordplay that I kind of liked. So how you doing, Scotty?
Tenet.
Hey guys, thought you were seeing Tenet. Forgive me, please. You're forgiven.
So did you even do a stream though? I kept looking. No, I didn't. I told you I'd let you know. I didn't go. I've been online all night waiting to hear from you.
I can't remember if Scotty did a live stream or he was supposed to, I think. But
I didn't see it.
I had to go see my brother-in-law, and then got backed up in traffic on the highway, and then did a little a finger kiss on someone's bumper, and no damage. Insured.
Yeah, I think you were telling that story when I first came in.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Let's play this little ditty real quick. The wolves are gathering around, line the queues, turn the lights down. Normies and paper cowboys, wolves gathering around, fatal attractions and their distractions. Don't cancel the movie, don't cancel me. Don't cancel the popcorn. All the bellicose in the cellulose line. You turn the lights down. Are you ready for the greatest picture show? Let's get to it, let's do it. Don't you blow it, get to it. Careful what you sow, put a little bow on it. Get to it, what's a little package? Why that is a little package. Going to the picture show, so nostalgic, it was heraldic. Speaking of something told, was it foretold? Was it foreshadowing? Chattering, it's all that matters. It's a picture show. Interconnecting, never disconnecting. Saving the world one song at a time. Saving the world one song at a time. Saving the world one song at a time. Wolves gathering round, line the queues, turn the lights down. Normies and paper cowboys. Paper cowboys. Wolves gather around, fatal attractions and their distractions. Don't cancel the movie, don't cancel me. Don't cancel the popcorn. All the bellicose in the cellulose line, the queues, turn the lights down. Are you ready for the picture show? Let's get to it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Don't you blow it. Don't you blow it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Careful what you sow. Careful what you sow. Oh, on it. Get to it. Quite a little nice package. Go to the picture show. So nostalgic, it's heraldic, speaks of something told. Was it foretold or was it foreshadowing? Cut the chattering, it's all that matters. It's a picture show. Interconnecting, never disconnecting, saving the world one song at a time. The world one song at a time. All right. Now, let's go ahead and plug our channels, and we'll play one more song, and then we'll wrap it up. Go ahead, start with you, Wes.
All right, I am Wes Moody, the Wes Moody Webcast. I talk about pop culture, current events, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional car talk, and I will vlog that whatever the heck I want to because it is my webcast. I can be found at youtube.com/Wes Moody Webcast. Hope to see you there. Thank you.
Tom?
And you can find me on Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark and High Council and all kinds of other places.
Okay.
And you evidently need some vamping, so vamp, sakura boo, blah, 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 blah.
Bleep, bleep, blah, blah, bloop.
So, Scotty, did you even fucking stream? Because I didn't see you streaming, dude. All right, I hopped in there and been like, send me the link, bitch!
Did this the case of Scotty fell asleep?
Scotty doesn't know.
Frank Zappa or Bear. I don't understand the context. Oh, yeah.
Frank Zappa had a pretty decent beard.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah. Yeah, the parts that used to be red-orange, they're white now. Yep.
Happens to the best of us.
Okay, what,
Unicorn and San Fran?
maybe. Let's see here, yeah. I think this one will do nicely. Yeah. Button's not cooperating, or I got Stream Brain.
It's weird. I hear it, but I don't see it.
I was queuing it up. Let's see here. There we go.
Is that why we get an echo? Because it's coming through on both sides?
No, I'm headphoned up. You shouldn't get no echo.
Oh, because that's weird, because we could hear it.
Well, you heard it because what I do is, instead of taking the sharing screen down, I click the third box over in the command center like that. And then I click the 1 second from the right to bring it back up.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right, the fourth clarion call. All right, you'll see this song's special. It's near and dear to the heart. Here we go. Is your love on fire? Wind over earth, fire and sea. Call the clarion, raise the fire. It takes a historian to call the clarion. You need a wind caller. Call the elemental of the earth. A touch of fire spirit. Salt of the sea. The fourth wave, always back, 4 doors to go, 4 steps away. What is real? Let's catch the deal. Maybe we could, maybe we should do something about it. It's not the end, it's just a little bending of the fourth wavelength. Universe changing, mind bending, never ending. Gotta get some, it takes a historian to call the clarion. Then you need a wind caller, then you need elements of the earth. A touch of fire, a little salt of the sea. The fourth wave, 4 waves back, 4 doors to go, 4 steps away. What is real? Let's catch the deal. Love on fire, wind over earth, fire and sea. Call the clarion, raise the fire. It takes a historian
to call
Another
the
hiccup.
clarion. You need a wind caller. Call the elemental earth. A touch of spirit, salt of the sea. The fourth wave flows back for those to go, for steps away. What is real? Let's catch the deal. Maybe we could, maybe we should. Let's do something about it. It's not the end, just a little white light bending the fourth wavelength. Universe changing, mind bending, never ending. Gotta get some, it takes a historian to call a clarion. Then you need a wind caller. Then you need a wind caller. You need elements of the earth, little salt of the sea. The fourth wave always back for those to go 4 steps away. What is the deal? Let's catch the deal. Love on fire, wind over earth. Fire and sea, all Arian. Race of fire, it takes a historian. Call the clarion, you need a wind call. Call the elemental of the earth.
That button loves to move on me. Well, thank you, chat. You're the best chat in the community, and without you, it wouldn't be no fun. And thanks to the awesome panelists tonight. Thanks for coming on, Tom. It's always fun.
Sure.
It's always giggles. And that was cool that Bat Tom stopped in. I like Bat Tom.
That Tom's a hit.
I'm a fan of Bat Tom. Well, thanks, chat, and thank you, fellas. It's been fun, and we'll do it again next time. Yeah. And
Night, everybody.
Any favorite? You said Unicorn and San Fran, right?
Yeah.
I don't like to refuse requests. Good night, all.
Good night.
Right.
Movie and a unicorn and popcorn. I saw unicorns and friend. All I had was a grand. Making an Exodus movie show was getting good. I got my popcorn. Hot summer, got to beat, got some heat, can't beat it. Add this to your playlist. Do you understand the music show? Apocalyptic movie show. I got my popcorn to degrees. Nothing like watching this movie show. So many to choose from. Got my popcorn, yeah. Hope you got your popcorn too. Living in a apocalyptic movie show. The movie and a unicorn. Movie and a popcorn. Movie and a popcorn. I saw a unicorn and San Fran. All I had was a grand. Making a Exodus movie show is getting good. Got my popcorn getting really deep. It got some heat, can't beat it. Add this to your list. Do you understand the music from the apocalyptic movie show? I got my popcorn too. 100 degrees, nothing like watching a movie show. So many to choose from. Got my popcorn, yeah. Hope you got your popcorn, yeah. Living in a popcorn movie show. Movie and a unicorn. Movie and a unicorn show. With that, bid you adieu. Good night.